into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. How are you doing? How are you guys doing? Oh, you guys, like, I'm a lucky girl, okay? Like right in the middle of this awesome cat and graham sandwich.
I think it is I think it is we that are lucky this morning.
You have a cough now?
Yes, the coffee is going down the wrong hole here. I just needed to get it out.
It's early in the morning. Let's get those cobwebs out. Now, I know there are a lot of parents out there getting a little frustrated, possibly, okay, because they've got the kids home for the school holidays, battling to find things for them to do. Well, we're going to inspire you this morning with some great activities that are also going to get them creative as well.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll also be speaking to internationally certified career coach Ashleyanne Spencer-Smith about the importance of developing your personal brand and all the aspects and factors that influence that.
That's right. We're also checking and taking viral videos this morning and photobomb fails. I love me a photobomb fail, though.
Oh, it's going to be funny. Then you might have noticed that celebrities like Henry Cavill, of course Superman, have different coloured eyes. It's not as Kryptonian blood coming out. It's actually a condition known as Heterochromia, and it is International Different Coloured Eye Day. Wow. So we're going to get into some eye care awareness around that.
Exactly. Well, from Mr. Brown Eyes to Mr. Also
brown eyes.
Brown eyes. Hello, let's go and find out what's happening with Zoe's eyes. Zoe, good morning.
Oh, well, they are brown, but I can tell you exactly what's happening in your weather as well. And it seems like most parts of the country can expect a cool start to the morning with sunny and to partly cloudy conditions. However, rainfall can also be expected over in Pietermaritzburg and Durban. Taking a look at your temperatures, in Polokwane, expect a low of 6, a high of 22. Mbombela, 11.23. Pretoria, 8.24. Johannesburg, 8 with a high of 22. Mahikeng, 9.26. Klerksdorp, 11.26. Kimberley, 6.27. Bloemfontein, 4 with a high of 24. Richards Bay today, 15.21. Pietermaritzburg expects showers with a low of 9, a high of 17. Durban, 16 with a high of 20, and in Mthatha, a low of 5 and a high of 17. East London, 11.18. Cradock starting off a cool 0, reaching a high of 9. Port Elizabeth, 10.18. George, 7.15. Sutherland, -4 with a high of 13. If you're in the mother city today in Cape Town, expect sunny conditions, a low of 9, a high of 16. Worcester, -1.16. Springbok, 0, reaching a high of 17. And in Uppington, expect a low of 5 and a high of 30. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll bring you another update in half an hour's time, but let's take a look at your traffic. We start off in Gauteng, Boysens. As usual, traffic is backed up. That's on the M1 northbound, approaching the Crown interchange, and in Cape Town and Ashleyanne, all major highways are free-flowing at the moment. However, you can start to see some congestion building on the N2 inbound. That's from Langa and the M5 interchange. That's where we leave your traffic for now. We'll bring you another update in half an hour's time.
Well, it's time for us to head to social media this morning, and the gorgeous Zoe is kicking off this morning's Facebook question. We want to know from you. Good morning, first of all. It's Wellness Wednesday. Tell us what song you listen to while you wake up. So let's see, or rather not wake up, sorry, work out. Work out, wake up, whichever one you want to take it. Quentin says something about Jesus by Kirk Franklin, and also TP says any house music that can make me dance and sweat it out. Celia says shut up and dance. Also, Harold says, Don't Let Me Down by the Chainsmokers. Chris says, Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And then Undersea says, Option by Pitbull. I got options. Very, very nice. And then Mimi says, Let's Dance Like We're Making Love by Sierra. Hello. And Innocent says, Morning fam, DJ Khaled, I am the one. So it seems like we have a very mixed bag of songs that people work out to. But keep them coming. We want to know, what song do you play when you're working out? And you can let us know using that official hashtag Expresso Show. But fine, let's go and find out what's happening with Nicki Bush, our official parenting expert, and Graham.
During the colder school holidays, it's time to pull out all of those fun items that you've been hiding in your cupboards unused for most of the year. Winter fun is synonymous with family time, and there's no one better to discuss how to create family fun than our creative parenting expert, Nicki Bush, who just loves having fun. I think from all of the education that you've given us, I think the most important one is to make it fun. And this is an opportunity to do things. You're dressed for winter. I think I'm dressed very poorly for winter. Yes. But just like a child, I also need to be engaged during these colder winter months. And we've got to kind of change our thinking.
We do, because often children are more indoors than outdoors during winter, especially if it's cold, wet, rainy, snowy.
Yeah, which we want at the moment.
Which we do want,
yeah.
Yes. So how do we keep them engaged and not glued to a screen 24/7? You know, it's so easy to just say, go watch TV or go and, you know, play on a tablet or whatever, because you know that there are 100 games that they can go and play. But there's so much more to childhood, and we need to make sure that we engage children in a multisensory way, because this is how they learn best.
You know, we talk about educating the child, but it's also a great way for a parent to learn more about their child in a safe place, a way of communicating that's two-way. And when I think of one of the coolest things I can remember doing as a child, puzzle time was so cool. And I have to think that there's got to be educational value to building a puzzle.
Oh, huge educational value. So when we go away for a week during those July, August school holidays, there is always a big puzzle that's packed. So whether, you know, if you've got younger children, you pack a 200-piece puzzle.
You're making me excited at the prospect of building a puzzle.
If you've got older children like I have, it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. And it's actually the thing my mum, myself, and my sons do together. And it gets put out on the dining room table and left out there for 2 or 3 days while everybody comes in and out, fiddles and faffs, does a few pieces, you know, and eventually it gets built. And there's this huge sense of satisfaction. Now, think about puzzles and the educational value of a puzzle. We learn how to find the corners, find the straight pieces. So you're sorting, matching, categorizing all the time. It's problem solving. Now you start building the pieces within the puzzles. So, oh, there's a penguin over there, and there's a rose over there, and there's a mermaid. And you start building all those little cameos, and then you put them together. So it's about together, apart. Figure ground perception, what's in the background, what's in the foreground. Part-whole relationships and staying the course. Children need a range of puzzles. It's a bit like reading books. Yeah. You need a wide variety.
It inspires the imagination, and also is a great way to ignite family competition, to discover who's good at what, who's good at the corners, like you say, all of those sorts of things. But just board games in general, they are such a wonderful way to bond and connect and take the edge off for a family, where it can be, 100%. Well, in some cases, unless your family is really, really competitive.
Well, you could be very competitive. So we know the big traditional board games, you know, that have been sold for years, but there's also some really fun ones. So you can have competitive board games, or you can have cooperative board game. Now, this fairy game is one of those cooperative board games where we all play together so that the team wins.
Aww.
So dependent on the age and stage of children, we can do these cooperative or competitive ones. And the great thing about board games is that we learn strategy, we learn to win and lose, to take turns, we learn how to play by the rules. And, you know, we don't always like to play by the rules, but let's face it, rules actually do make us safe. Like, we drive on a certain side of the road. We stop at stop streets. You know what I mean? There are certain things we have to do.
We wear our seat belts. Yeah.
So this is a way of teaching children to actually follow basic rules.
I absolutely love that. I'm so glad you mentioned the word safe, because it's an area where you can make mistakes, which we know our children have to do, but in a safe place.
That's right.
I'm absolutely loving this. We're going to delve a bit more into the creative side of playing games. I'm seeing some things that are grabbing my attention. I'm trying to avoid sticking my hand in the gloop that is next to us, but you'll find out what that blue substance is. But we're with Nicki Bush once again a little bit later in the show to continue talking about some fun ways of engaging our child's mind, our body in those colder winter months when we've got to hold ourselves up warm indoors.
Well, some great parenting advice there from Nicki Bush. Thank you so much. When we come back, we get more advice, but this time around on building your personal brand. And we've got internationally certified career coach Ashleyanne Spencer-Smith with us here. Hello, Ashleyanne. Hi.
I'm looking forward to that. And then also, after the break, we'll take a look at what's trending, including different pets growing up together, the most unusual combinations. So we'll see you after the break.
I can't turn him down anymore. Can you not turn your gain down? The gain mine's also pretty much on 0. I've tried to turn it down. Try now.
Yeah, correct. Just the monitor saying just drop it on your side, please. Very loud. Okay, guys, let's go.
Give it a go.
Let's do this now.
Can't hear anything. It's too loud. Turn it down. 1, 2. It's like our monitors are distorting. Can you just turn it down a lot?
I've turned you down. I've turned you entirely off.
Cool. I can't put these on. I can't put these on.
I've turned you off.
Okay. Is this thing on?
In your light I fade. Every time you seem to fold again. Eclipsed in retrograde. You're not even gay or sour exuberate. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. You know what that tune means. It's time for us to find out what our Mzansi stars have been up to.
Yes, and I see that we've got a little dance that we must all learn to this beat at one point. But some very good news. Terry Petto has already scooped up several international awards, and she could be adding one more to that list. Now, the actress has landed not one, not two, but 3 nominations at this year's International Achievement Recognition Awards.
Ooh.
Now, Terry has been nominated in wait for it, Best Actress in TV Drama, and Best International Actress categories. Taking to Twitter, the actress shared how honored she is to be part of the nominees. We certainly are proud of her and will be crossing all of our fingers and all of our toes in the hopes that she wins not 1, not 2, but perhaps all 3 of those categories.
She must nail them. That's what she must do.
Nailed it.
She must nail them.
Nail them.
Yeah, as in, you must nail. Get in there.
A channel.
No. Nail.
Okay. I'm confused, but anyway.
South Africa.
We love you. Hot off the heels of her appearance on Tropica Island of Treasure, Kamanina Shabangu has jetted off yet again. Now, the model and reality star has been in China as she films an exciting TV show, The China Diaries. Taking to Instagram, Kamanina posted several photos of herself taking in the country, from the street walks, the temple visits, and the garden strolls, and it sure looks like she is having so much fun. We hope that you know, what's in the works is something that we can all definitely take hold of in the next coming days. And of course, yeah, the China Diary is definitely something to look forward to.
I'm looking at every outfit option she has on. I mean, when I travel, it's the same combination and like trying to save suitcase space. But there was no, I didn't see anything repeated.
But I think all the the flowers and the scenery also just makes it look absolutely beautiful. I need to go to China, yo.
You know, the nice thing is you see her on screen, but when you see her in front of you, she's literally breathtaking. That girl is so stunning. So I can't wait to see more about it.
Yes.
Excellent stuff. Well, that's what we have for you in terms of entertainment news on the local front. We'll have an update on the international front later on. But right now, it is war.
It is indeed war. Julius Caesar played a pivotal role, we know, in the rise of the Roman Empire, and Caesar, the leader of the apes, also wants to see the species prevail. Experience the highly anticipated third chapter of the now critically acclaimed blockbuster franchise in new Metro's technologically advanced extreme cinemas, including Dolby Atmos and Auro 3D sound at the Glen in Johannesburg, Mennon Park in Pretoria, and in 3D at the Canal Walk Cinema, Ballito Junction in KZN, and Clearwater Mall in Johannesburg. Now, the best part is you stand a chance of winning tickets to see The War for the Planet of the Apes in 3D or Extreme. Simply SMS the keyword WAR plus your name and your city to 40675. Remember, you do need to add the city in which you'll be able to watch that screening. You can find all of the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. Will it be apes or humans who reign supreme? Or will the battle between the two primates lead to their own demise? Find out in The War of the Planet of the Apes.
Find the best entertainment at new Metro cinemas. It's your scene.
Now, there's no doubt about it. We live in the age of information. In fact, it's become so easy for people to find information about you online. And so it's become like an essential part of the modern day life to build your own professional, personal brand so that you can stand out from the rest. And here with tips on how to do that successfully and effectively is internationally certified career coach Ashleyanne Spencer-Smith. Thank you so much. I feel like I've said your name so many times this morning. That's itself imprinted itself as a brand on our show. But thank you very much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
And I want to just start off first by asking, when we talk about a personal brand, exactly what are we referring to, and has the popularity of social media made it so much more important for us to build that professional, personal brand?
Yeah. I mean, when you think of any brand, any company's brand, it's the thoughts and reflections that somebody gets when they see you, those ideas that come to mind. That, in essence, is your brand. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the job seeker, it takes one level further, and that is, it's the promises and value that you are going to bring to a prospective employer. And social media has absolutely ratcheted up the need for people to take more attention to your personal brand. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not active on social media, you still will have an online presence, and it's really replaced social media has really replaced that first point of impression that an employer is going to find. Because as you'll see, 94% of recruiters are using social media to find new candidates. Yeah. So it's a significant source of new opportunities.
And we know what they say about those first impressions. Now, when we talk about an effective personal brand, what do we mean by that, and how do you go about creating an effective one?
A lot of people, when they talk about branding, they stop short. There's two elements. There is the part of you, the values that you bring, the strengths that you offer. But it's always in the context of your client or your employer. What is the value as it relates to their needs, not just as it relates to you and how you feel. You're selling a product. Even if you're employed in a job, you're still selling a product. You're either selling excellent customer service or exceptional communication. Whatever your strength is, that is providing a resource for a company, and you need to market and make that connection between what you're good at, what you're strong at, and what the company needs. Yeah. And then articulate back it up with actual accomplishments that you've done and where you've done it before.
Yeah. And so let's speak about some of those tips that you have in terms of articulating your personal brand message to ensure that it's clear, it's concise, understandable, and most importantly, it has that value.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work that's being done in the personal branding space. There's a lot of resources that are available to help somebody to do this. Because it does start with the personal values and identifying your personal strengths. And while that can seem easy to do, it's really important that you block out a lot of time to actually sit down and really think this through. And it's good to work with a coach or some professional on doing this. There's resources that you can, plenty of resources online that you can use. The second element would be to get the feedback of others. So whether that's done by a 360 feedback process that you do with a professional coach, or if it's just surveying your friends, family, and coworkers to get their impressions of what you are and to see, does your strengths line up with what other people are seeing from you?
All right.
And then the next step would be really to to start doing the research on the ideal company that you'd be working for, the ideal client, and then start to match those up. And then lastly, you just need to boil that down into a message that can be quickly and easily articulated, depending on the media that you're using.
Yeah.
So if it's a conversation, you want kind of a 15-second elevator speech where you can quickly and concisely just state your brand. If it's online, you want to be able to quickly and concisely state it in a couple paragraphs backed up with some real examples of where you've done that.
But of course, it all takes that background work that you do need to do, because you are your own brand at the end of the day, and you need for yourself, like I said, to do that work first. So thank you very much, Ashleyanne, for joining us this morning, and I hope that was enlightening to you at home. If you'd like more information, do visit the website consiliumcareers.com.
So this National Savings Month, we are determined, I say it emphatically, to get financially fit and to save as much as we can. And one way to save is by avoiding unnecessarily high banking fees, which, let's be honest, catches all of us a little off guard every month. And that's why we are loving Nedbank's Pay-As-You-Use account, because it has a flat monthly fee of only R5.
That's right. Now, this is a fully fledged transactional account that has been designed to help you save and allows you to pay only what you use. Plus, you can add extra benefits when you need, keeping you totally in control. So if you're interested in saving with the Nedbank Pay-As-You-Use account and would like to find out more, why don't you just SMS NEDPAYU to 30755 and you'll receive everything you need to know. SMSs are free and the terms and conditions can be found on nedbank.co.za.
I'm a dreamer, a doer. I know the hustle. I just need my money to hustle for me.
Let your money hustle for you. Get a bank account for R5 per month and bank on the Nedbank app without using any data. See money differently. Nedbank.
And then poof, a magical dog appears in your lap. How do you do that?
Adorable. Listen, your morning's about to be made, but listen, we're going to take a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, we'll take a look at viral videos, especially the photo bomb fails. He wants a treat. Okay, wait.
He's cute, he's cute. Look at him. Anyway, listen, very importantly today, we also talk about Different Coloured Eyes Day. We talk about a condition called heterochromia with Dr. Donovan Thorrold. So stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. I've got to embrace the cuteness quickly. Hello, hello.
I often find my eyes too big for my stomach and I end up dishing up way too much, but I want to save the leftovers for later without the hassle of extra dishes. My solution for that is Glad Clingwrap. It's a household name we all know and love because it's a few generations old, having been a handy kitchen companion for decades. In 2016, Glad Clingwrap was proud to be named Product of the Year, and it's not hard to see why. Glad Clingwrap has evolved to make our lives easier with a 1.5 times tighter seal to make sure your food's freshness is sealed in tight. It has perforations that tears off easily, making the process simple and efficient. Glad Clingwrap is also 10% wider than most wraps, meaning it will wrap a plate without needing an extra piece. Glad Wrap is so versatile. It's great for storing, meal portioning, meal preparation, and of course, saving your food from going bad.
In your
At Samsung, We develop technology so you can live life. Samsung, a way of life.
You tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show. It's Expresso. And before we get to the cuteness, we're going to take a look at what's trending, all those funny, random and interesting things that we found online.
My hands smell like puppy.
Oh. I have hair. It's so cute.
So cute. Okay. Well, let's kick off with this one. A lady by the name of Carly Jekyll was filming her workout routine when her husband decided to step in and attempt to photobomb her with his moves, which totally backfired.
What happened there? That was too quick. Can we replay that? Is it possible? Okay, here he is.
He's photobombing.
Oh! I squeeze.
I'm sorry, that was hectic.
That's like when you just land on your tailbone, or what do you call this thing?
Coccyx.
You know, my grandmother always used to say,
so
"Esmos, jy val jou mismos."
I don't know.
Jy val jou gaatjie mismos.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. The next one we found, a Reddit user named Judge Jasper wanted to take a selfie with his girlfriend using this new feature that takes a panoramic selfie. But in order for it to work, as you know, when you take a panoramic photo, you got to remain absolutely still. But then she sneezed, and this happened. Oh my goodness.
So good. I've seen one where a cat also walked into the room as you did a pano, and it just looked like this long cat. But this is really cool.
And you know what it is on the internet? Haters will say it's photoshopped.
Yeah.
That's very clever.
Sure.
And then listen, we've been loving Bored Panda's content, especially this where they show before and after photos of animals growing up together. So look at that.
What is that a fox?
Yes, it's a little fox. It's not your average animal. Look at that.
Oh, no.
Adorable.
Oh, that's cute.
Little kittens. Oh, that's really cute.
Cuddle buddies.
They have the best lives.
What did you say?
There we go. I think that's what we've got for you.
Very nice.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool content. Anyway, show us your content that you're following online that's got you all giggly. And, of course, when you share it with us, use #ExpressoShow. Now, if you've ever looked into the eyes of celebrities like Jane Seymour, Josh Henderson, Henry Cavill, of course, Superman and Kate Bosworth, you might have noticed something very unique about each of them. Their eyes are differently coloured, just like Hugo's. I don't know if you can see into his eyes. Beautiful dog who is completely stealing the show this morning. The condition is actually called Heterochromia, and it's being celebrated today on Different Coloured Eyes Day. Now, to help us understand this unique condition is optometrist Dr. Donovan Thorrold, and one of our favourite dogs with different coloured eyes. As I said, this is Hugo, looking absolutely beautiful, so he deserves a treat just for looking so cool. I don't know if you can see his eyes there, but he's got one blue and one brown. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry that you're being upstaged by a puppy this morning, but it was going to happen. Heterochromia, what is it exactly? Whoop, whoop.
It just
there
means...
Bye-bye, boy.
Deserted us. It means just that it's different colour, heterochromia, different colour. We're talking about irises, which is the coloured part of your eye. And mostly the one that's the day is obviously about is similar to Hugo, the puppy, is one eye different colour to the other. What causes it is a different, less melanin, the pigment in the iris, in one eye compared to the other.
Is this a complication? Is this something that you need to be worried about, or is it just simply an interesting abnormality?
Yeah, so it's mostly not. So it's not that common. I think about between 3 and 10 people in 1,000 have it. So mostly it's fine, and it's congenital. So you get it from when you're young, and you've got one eye different colour to the other, and that's not a problem. There are some cases, however, where it can be a problem. Very rare, but there are also some conditions that it can be a problem.
I've noticed in pets that seem to have white fur, or an albino pet, is it more prevalent in that kind of condition? I know you're not a vet.
No.
I'll give you a treat, though, if you get this right, Doc.
Not too much, although, yes, in that condition where we lack pigment completely, then the eyes are not different colours, but they lack pigment. So, in fact, in albino type conditions, then a person will also have no colour almost in those. They're very, very light coloured eyes.
Wow.
Yes.
So this obviously presents a wonderful opportunity to raise awareness about eye care in general. Why is it so important for us to have regular eye checkups? Here we go, boy. Good boy.
Well, I think one of the main reasons is that some eye conditions are very symptomless, and you don't notice anything. So just because you can see well and you feel fine doesn't mean that there's not something that that could be prevented from being a problem later. Even the slight change in eye color, if your eye color changes in a section of the eye for some reason later, that's worth just looking at. That's while we're talking about different colored eyes. But there are conditions that have absolutely no symptoms but can be a problem later but are easily prevented if they're caught early.
I was going to say, why early detection? You hear that mentioned so often when it comes to eye care.
Yeah, so quite a few of the conditions you get would, if you detect them early, a lot can be done to treat them or even prevent them from becoming a problem later. So it's good to have a regular checkup just to check that out.
Go and see your optometrist. Doc, thank you so much for playing vet today, as well as optometrist. Really good to connect with you. And hopefully that's at least kind of lit a light bulb above you. Go and get your eyes checked. And if you do have different coloured eyes today, well, you are being celebrated, so enjoy it. And Hugo, thank you so much. You stole the show. Look at that puppy.
Thank you so much, Graham. In the national news this morning, the Centre for Child Law says it will appeal a High Court judgment that will allow child offenders, victims and witnesses to be identified once they turn 18. The ruling, which was handed down in the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria yesterday, stems from the Zephany nurse case, when NGOs and activists applied to protect the identities of children even after they had turned 18. Head of the Centre for Child Law, Professor Anne Skelton, says they are disappointed by the outcome and will appeal, as these issues deal with children and has to be resolved as soon as possible. A new report by the CRL Rights Commission has found that there are many unregistered religious leaders in the country who are using cult-like methods to lure congregants. This comes after the Commission launched an investigation following complaints that some pastors have been using dangerous healing methods. Commission Chairwoman Toko Mkwanazi-Qaluva says the high surge in the number of unregistered religious institutions and lack of accountability in the religious sector is deeply worrying. Now, moving further abroad, the new French government has announced cuts to public spending to bring the deficit below an EU limit that has been flouted for a decade. Government will cut 4.5 billion euros, primarily from defence, interior, foreign affairs and transport. However, public services nor taxes will be affected. The cuts mean spending projections fall to 322 billion euros in 2017, meaning the country will meet the EU Stability Pact, one of the campaign pledges President Emmanuel Macron made earlier this year. And then finally, the European Court of Human Rights has ruled that Belgium's ban on face veils does not violate the European Convention on Human Rights. The ruling follows a case brought by two women who wanted to wear the veil, which covers all but their eyes. The court agreed that the ban sought to guarantee the concept of living together and the protection of the rights and freedoms by upholding the initial ban on the wearing of partial or total face veils in public, passed in 2011. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Here's our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
We start off with high-stakes cricket this morning. Round 6 of the Women's Cricket World Cup continues today, and it sees South Africa in a must-win game against Sri Lanka. With 2 matches remaining in the group stage, South Africa find themselves in 5th place with 7 points, 1 place out of the semi-final spots. Some other fixtures from today's World Cup action will see Australia taking on India and England facing New Zealand. Then staying with cricket, former Proteas cricket player Lonwabo Tsotsobe has been banned from the sport for 8 years. That's for breaching Cricket South Africa's personal anti-corruption code. Tsotsobe's ban, which runs from April 2017, comes after the player admitted to match fixing and accepting bribes during the 2015 Ram Slam T20 Challenge. The former fast bowler made his debut for the Proteas side back in 2009 in a match against Australia in Melbourne. Then German rider Marcel Kittel has claimed his 4th win of this year's Tour de France yesterday as he came out on top in a sprint finish in stage 10. Kittel crossing the line in just over 4 hours to earn his 13th overall Tour de France stage win, making him the most successful German cyclist in the Tour's history. 2016 Tour winner and current race leader Chris Froome, he held onto that yellow jersey with an 18-second lead over Italy's Fabio Aru. Then onto the grass courts of Wimbledon. Once again, world number 11 Venus Williams secured her place in the Wimbledon semi-finals yesterday thanks to a straight sets win over Yelena Ostapenko. In fact, wasn't born when Venus played her first Wimbledon tournament. Unbelievable. Williams, a 5-time Wimbledon champion, played through a simple 6-3, 7-5 win to progress to her 10th semi-final appearance at the Grass Court Grand Slam. Some other results from the day also saw final wins for Magdalena Rybinkova, Garbine Muguruza and Joanna Konta. That's where we leave our sport for now.
Sorry. We're going to take a look at what you can expect in your traffic this morning. Starting off in Gauteng in Fairland. As usual, there's sluggish traffic on the N1 Western Bypass. That's between William Nicol Drive and Main Road in Bryanston. If you're in Boysons, there's another update on the M1 congestion. Traffic is now backed up from the N12 highway. We advise that you do use an alternative route heading into the city this morning. And if you're in Cape Town in Heiderveld, expect congestion. That's on Jakes Gerwel Drive northbound between Klipfontein Road and Viking Way. That's where we leave your traffic for now. We'll take another look at that shortly. But let's take another look at your weather. And it seems like most parts of the country can expect a cool start to the morning. Getting into those temperatures, Polokwane 6:22, Mbombela 11:23, Pretoria 8:24, Johannesburg 8:22. If you're in Mahikeng today, expect sunshine with a low of 9, a high of 26. Klerksdorp 11:26, Kimberley 6:27, Bloemfontein 4:24. Cloudy conditions in Richards Bay, a low of 15, a high of 21. Pietermaritzburg 9:17. If you're in Durban, 16 with a high of 20. Mthatha 5, high of 17. East London 11:18. Cradock 0, reaching a high of 19. Port Elizabeth 10, reaching a high of 18. If you're in George today, 7:15. Sutherland -4:13. Cape Town 9:16. If you're in Worcester, -1, reaching a high of 16. Springbok 0, a high of 17, and in Uppington, expect a low of 5 and a high of 30 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now.
Well, of course, I'm going through social media, and it seems like everybody right now is talking about Venus Williams, who has become, let's see what Paris Guardian says here, the oldest Wimbledon semi-finalist, and people are just congratulating congratulating her all of the way. At 37, Venus Williams into the 10th Wimbledon semi-final. Also, another one says here, Venus Williams set Wimbledon semi-final record. Going on here, everybody's just praising her age, and of course everything that she's come through in her career to make it to this far, and pure success, saying can Venus Williams and Novak Djokovic win? So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, this is amazing, and it just goes to show that just like a fine wine, some people just keep getting better and better.
First of all, are you injured?
No, I'm not.
What happened there? You apologized to the whole nation.
What you don't see is I stand on a little ledge when I do the weather, and I fell off.
You know, you just killed the whole fairy tale for everyone.
Oh,
we thought
sorry.
Now this happens. This is why we have handrails throughout our studios, just for Zoe. This happens every day. After the break, we're going to get into some apps to help protect your personal safety.
Yeah, we'll also talk about how to carry money safely in this modern day and age. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Just don't fall off the chair.
welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. It's Expresso on SABC3. Time for us to now turn our attention to a little bit of a tech front.
Yeah.
Now, yes, on Monday with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, we spoke about should you share your password with your partner. Now, a lot of people have passwords on their devices, and we thought we'll take a look at some of the apps, the security apps, to help you with your cell phone.
Yeah, not designed to catch your partner out, but rather catch someone who might have stolen your mobile device. Apps for mobile devices cater to a myriad of needs, and there are some security apps that are dedicated to capturing the details of anyone who attempts to unlock your phone. Brilliant new developments. Now, in light of our relationship topic regarding passwords and trust, we thought we'd introduce you to some of our top picks of the apps that catch people out trying to snoop on your device. How you use them is completely up to you. So let's kick off with the Hidden Eye app. It takes pictures of the intruder with the front camera. So if someone tries to access your phone and puts in the wrong password, snap, it takes a photo of them. And the nice thing is they put the pin in wrong 3 times, then the actual alarm starts to go off.
That's very clever though, because you get some people that will, you know, play around with the combos until they can potentially get it.
Yeah.
But then to activate an alarm is clever.
And for me, I'm so used to hearing my alarm going off now. I'm just like, what? I hear that sound anyway. Then we've got Crook Catcher, another app that's almost the same as Hidden Eye, but with a couple of additional features, like a GPS location of where and when someone attempted to access your device. Could be fun if the flash goes off as well, just to blind them. And they just end up dropping the phone. Yeah, exactly. But I think this one could be really, really useful, certainly in our context. And then our third app, simply titled Anti-Theft Camera, goes one step further even, excuse me, to record audio and video of intrusion as well as images and location. Basically, it's like a CCTV camera in your pockets. Awesome, awesome stuff. So hopefully we have given you some ways that you can now protect yourself. Useful for theft. If someone has taken your phone, can cause a little bit of trouble and tension though in your relationship. So I would recommend that you don't use it for that, but that's a discussion I'll leave up to Dr. Eve.
Well, it's very, very, very interesting indeed. So there you have it, our roundup of some interesting apps that can help keep your device safe.
Now, in recent years, we've seen a boom in alternative payment methods. You can pretty much pay for anything without having to withdraw any money or make a cash payment. But despite this, the innovation of payment systems, cash robberies remain a real and a harsh reality. And back in studio with us, we have Ayub, the CEO of SABRIC, the South African Banking Risk Information Center, to shed some light on how to carry cash safely, which my grandmother would have said is just in your brassiere. But unfortunately, we don't all wear one. So why is it that we still are hearing stories about cash robberies? Is that really still that prominent?
It absolutely is, unfortunately. You know, there's a lot of people that still believe that it's better to carry cash. People want to actually see the money. And so, unfortunately, you know, people who, individuals, businesses, stockvels and savings clubs, you know, unfortunately become the victims of criminals who know that cash is available and, of course, see them as easy targets.
End of the month is coming, and now you all need to put into the motel or the stokvel, and they know that that's the time.
Sure. And, you know, and that's really important. So stokvel, I mean, people are saving their hard-earned money. And so we're saying to them, there's so many different ways that you can actually do your banking or transfer the amount that you need to contribute each month without having to physically touch cash.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're encouraging, the banks are encouraging people, especially in savings clubs or even individuals, go into your bank, find out about the different banking solutions that are on offer that will prevent you from having to draw cash. With stokvels, we're saying, look, at the end of the month when you do need to pay over to whoever's collecting it, why don't you do an EFT? Arrange with your bank. You can do a debit order. You can do an EFT. They'll teach you how to actually do it. Let the money pass electronically. Even for the person who's managing the stokvel. Instead of having to go into a bank branch and draw out this a large sum of cash in order to pay over or to distribute, rather arrange to transfer it directly into people's accounts as well, so that you're actually not faced with the threat of being robbed. And people know this in the communities. They know who's collecting monies. They know who's, you know, there's all kinds of saving clubs now.
I mean, for instance, why is it that people fall victim to, you know, cash robberies? Is it because, you know, once you've withdrawn the money, you're not vigilant, your mind is on something else, you're not aware of your surroundings?
Well, you know, that could be one of it, because what we're finding is the more prevalent way in which the perpetrator gets information, and I must say this, often people think that it's bank staff, and it's actually not the position at all. The perpetrators are a number of people because it's organized. So they have somebody inside the bank who are what we call spotters, and they stand there and they watch to see who's drawing significant amounts of cash. And they, of course, notify their counterparts or their co-perpetrators about it, and they follow them. But we're saying, you know that the demand for cash is always there.
Yeah.
It's quick and easy. Get hold of the cash and you go. So they follow you as well. So with businesses, we often say, try to use unbranded vehicles, change the days of the week that you do your banking, develop a relationship with more than one branch. Don't go to the same branch all the time. Okay. Even with individuals, don't tell too many people when you're going to draw money. But if you have to draw cash, then of course try and go with somebody who you can trust, so that you have somebody with you as well. And with the issue on wages, you know, we certainly would be encouraging any employer to make sure that their staff have bank accounts. Yeah. You're actually putting them at risk as well by paying over the cash. So not only is the business resource that's drawing the cash at risk, but also your staff that's receiving it.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, the top tip is kind of like, you know, the best way of carrying cash safely is just not to carry cash.
Yes, because you can do all your payments with a card. You can do it at an ATM if you don't have a computer. Absolutely. You know, you can pay people via the ATM as well. So I think most certainly people should go into the bank branch, speak to the bank about the different solutions out there, and rather do your banking differently.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us once again and enlightening us on the fact that Scellum is always out there on the prowl looking for new victims, and you don't want to be that victim. So avoid carrying large amounts of cash, and of course opt for alternate banking methods such as cell phone banking and internet banking, which is available at all major banks. So for more tips on how you can wise up and watch out, visit the SABRIC website, and you can also check them out on Facebook and on their Twitter pages.
Wise up, watch out. This one's for the kids. Now, if you enjoy mobile gaming, then today is your day to cash in, because Vodacom is about to make your day with up to 1 free gig of data. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah, especially if you're a gamer or a big kid like me. I feel judged now.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, Vodacom is offering customers a chance to explore more of the internet by giving you access to a new site every day of the week. Now, Wednesday is about gaming, and on Gaming Wednesday, Vodacom is offering free access for the day to Game Mine, I hope I'm saying that, ViewClip, yes, and Vodacom games without any data charges. This is amazing.
Well, just for the team, I thought I would put myself through the trouble of playing some of the games on the Vodacom games platform. There are some really cute, fun, interesting, immersive games on the platform. And
because of school holidays, like, this is the perfect way to get all of the kids involved as well.
And you got a gig free for an entire day, so I really did try to use up that free gig. But one of the games that I absolutely loved is called Bus Rush. It takes you've got to collect coins, as you can see here, your dollar coins, going through different cityscapes. There are so many cool activities involved. You've got to battle things like trains and cars and trucks as you move at breakneck speeds, collecting your coins. Very inspiring graphics. It's just so creative, I think, or stimulating is the best way to explain it. But so many variations on tracks that you can do. You can literally while away hours playing this game. So absolutely love that. Then another game that I got really into was Zombie Squad. It's all about driving your way through a zombie apocalypse. This one maybe for slightly older big kids like myself, but a lot of fun as well. And if you like shooting games, I found this one really did stack up high, certainly for a mobile game. Lots of intense action. Really enjoyed it, and massive explosions to really give you that zombie post-apocalyptic world kind of feel. Very, very cool. How's my hot rod, hey?
That's very cool.
Absolutely love that. Then King of Thieves, something that was even more immersive. I really enjoyed this one, but quite cute as well. You are trying to become the greatest thief in the world, so obviously you've got to collect as much cash as you can, but in so doing, there is some arcade-style gameplay along with puzzles, cool ways of solving the problems that you get into. So, and education educational element there as well, and really, really cute. This one, I think, safe for the entire family, but especially young ones. So a lot of fun that you can have, and as we've said, you've got one free gig to play around with.
That's amazing. I'm excited. So to get your fix of games, all you need to do is buy a Vodacom 100 meg data bundle or more and have a positive data balance. Then you need to dial *111 *634# and download the latest My Vodacom app to opt in. You can use your free data for gaming today, and let us know what games you love by hashtagging Expresso Show and hashtag Meg Your Day.
Well done.
Now, you may only think of him as a rock star, but Monark frontman Eugene Coetzer also has a money story. And after the break, we take a note out of his page.
And then we continue with our Money Matters. In fact, we're talking about small, medium, and long-term saving plans. So we'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Where are your buttons?
Over there.
Over there. Well, listen, from buttons, we're turning now our focus to finance.
Absolutely. It's my money story time, where we take a magnifying glass and take a look at somebody very, very successful and how they've managed their way around money. This time around, frontman of Monark, Eugene Coetzer.
It's time for hashtag My Money Story with Expresso, where each week we sit down with someone who has made a success in their chosen field to learn more about the relationship that they have with money and the lessons that they've learned along the way. And it's been an awesome series so far. So today we're sitting down with a man who, were it not for his amazing ability to sing and write music, would probably be sitting all alone in a dark library basement at a university somewhere studying some ancient scrolls, because before he became a huge success with the hit band Monark, he actually got his PhD in ancient Greek. It's Eugene Coetzer, and of course, Grant van Zyl, you know, our master in all things financial. Gentlemen, awesome to have you. Eugene.
Thanks, man. I just actually came from that dog library. On my way here.
That's why he still got his glasses.
So nice to be here in the
So you weren't joking about the psychologist after?
Yeah, no, definitely gonna see her. I need it, man.
There you go.
I mean, dude, what a change in lanes, which means to me that you've got a very interesting money story behind why you've chosen to answer this calling as a musician. What's your first memory of money?
Yeah, my interesting money story is like I moved from very secure money to the band, you know. It's very, very nice now. I love my life. No, but like the earliest memory I got is in school. You know, I was really jealous of my friend because I had like the basic ruler and pen and stuff, you know,
pencil
and like space case or whatever, and like my buddy was really rich, you know, so he had all the pimped out stuff, you know, like crazy pens and neon and lights and stuff like that. And I was so jealous, and I realized then that money buys you cool stuff, you know. So it's maybe the wrong reason, but I like money.
That's part of the truth, mate. We'd be making our little mini skateboards out of our rulers. They'd be buying skateboards.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you can relate to this.
So, yeah, I would imagine that you have learned some pretty tough financial lessons along the way, certainly from the band's perspective and backing your talent in that way. What have been some of the toughest lessons learned?
Yeah, I think you have this perception when people talk about saving, you know, that you wait until you really earn a lot, and then you start saving like maybe 10-20% of that. And a lesson I learned was even when you don't have much, you know. You use a percentage and you pay yourself first, you know. So no matter where you are, and that's always my advice to give to all kinds of people, you know, even people that just started out or whatever. I tell them, like, no matter, because don't wait until you get a crazy salary or whatever. Just take 10% of what you got now.
Grant, I don't think we need you here today.
Yeah,
but
this is unbelievable.
But this emerges in almost every chat that we have had.
Every single time, hey? It comes up every single time. So you're hitting the nail on the head, spot on. So that's really good advice. So I can go home now. I can go see my psychologist now.
I really appreciate it.
But I've got an interesting question for you, if you don't mind. So how did you go from being a PhD professor to now into a band? I mean, that should be an interesting story.
Yeah. Well, I always had the passion for music. Like, since like grade 10, I started writing songs and just kept on going, and it was always a dream. But I think that's also a lesson, actually, I learned. Because people easily say, and this links to my story, we'll get to it now, but people easily say, just follow your passions and success will follow, you know, all those crazy slogans. But if you don't have a steady backbone or second plan, you can't, like, explore and risk, you know. So that was my kind of thing. Like, I knew I had to drive and get the degrees if I want to one day, like, maybe take a risk with a band.
Oh, yeah.
So it was kind of a parallel thing, you know, and as the music progressed and got to a cool stage where we, like, set our first single into the world, you know, then I was ready also to make that shift and say, okay, this is not too much of a big risk because I have, like, a backup plan.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
And that's great inspiration for guys out there that actually have dreams. And then they need to understand that you actually have to plan to get to those dreams. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping you've got at least one conundrum to pose to Grant this morning, but we're going to get into...
Otherwise, we're just going to have coffee.
Yeah, exactly. We can continue to regale our history.
I don't even need my psychiatrist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so inspiring.
Awesome to have Eugene here, dude. You've got a really interesting story and inspirational at that. We're going to continue this very interesting #MyMoneyStory discussion a little bit later in the show.
Oh, it's great to hear from Eugene from Monark. Of course, more with him a little bit later. But do you find that you have more month than money? Because we're all trying to make our salary stretch and also trying to save.
My month lasted longer than my money, yes. And you're trying to do all of that while you're trying to buy those sneakers, those short-term things that you want to buy. There's the house, there's the car. So it's all a bunch of short, medium, and long-term goals that you really need to take into consideration to ensure that you secure your financial future. And we've got some advice for you.
Saving is one of those things that is certainly easier said than done. And the most difficult thing often is just getting started in the first place. Starting small and starting soon can go or set you on a very, very good course. And as you know, we are currently in July, which is National Savings Month, and we've all joined the #MySavings pledge and loving it so far. And I hope you have started saving, because I certainly have gone down that path and I am loving it. Now this morning we are joined by Vanessa Singh and Vanessa Palani, who are obviously from Nedbank, part of our broader family. Ladies, first of all, you both look absolutely gorgeous, but I owe you a debt of gratitude because I'm loving being on my own new savings journey. So ladies, welcome back.
Thank you. Now, Graham, tell me, it's been a week since we were last here. And how much have you saved with your wipes?
Well, this is the thing. I thought I would save about 50 Rand a week going into it. It's actually a little bit more.
Wow.
So I have a feeling over the next month, over the next 2 months, I'm going to start to see some real growth there, but it's going towards my long-term goal of school fees when I need it and getting my child into school. I think this is such a cool way of making it practical.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going for a long-term savings goal here.
So you've got 6 years to do that, right? Or 5 years to get your kid?
5 years. And I've got to get him into a school now, which is amazing. Now, when we look at those short, medium and long-term savings goals, I think people often forget that you need to kind of segment it like that. We all have goals, things that we'd like to buy, but can maybe, Vanessa, you can take me through the differences between the short, the medium and the long term.
So, you know, when you look at kids, and a great example, saving for your kids' future, you definitely need to look at how you're going to have some fun in the short term. You know, how you're going to cover some of those, how you're going to cover some of those emergencies. So, you know, saving for something like maybe his first bike, you know, a little bit of fun, outing, something around that. So short-term savings is great for that. But you also want to save for those bigger items. So, you know, how do you save for maybe his first vacation, the next big item, and then his education, which is one of the most important things. So long-term is absolutely important. But the key is, like you said, start now, start small, but start.
Yeah, take that first step.
Yeah, and what's important is that, so the shorter you save your money, the more the money's on demand. So if you want the money immediately, you'll get an interest rate that's probably not the greatest because it's on, yes. But for me, what I really like is that I call this resist the temptation. Now, I'm a watch fanatic. So I tend to, as I walk through, I don't go shopping often, but when I do, I look out for the watches. And because I've put my money into a 32-day notice deposit, so if I want to use it, I have to give 32 days notice.
You've got to really think about it.
Now, I can't buy that watch simply because I've first got to give notice on my money. After 32 days, I've forgotten about buying that watch.
It gives you enough time to realise, do I really deserve this?
Yes. And the trick is to encourage Vanessa to move from that 32-day into a 12-month fix, which you can't touch it for at least a year.
She's still got 12 watches over one yearly period, you know.
But now, touching on this 12 months, it's really important because what we've noticed is that the moment you start saving, and as this thing grows, you've got to make it work harder for you. And it's in the harder where you move it to a longer term, because the longer the term, the greater the interest is.
So what is that first step then? When you talk about taking the first small step, what is the best way to do that, do you think?
So the couple of things one needs to consider. So people are at different stages of their savings life.
For sure, yeah.
So the first thing you've got to make sure when you save is that your capital is guaranteed. Just be careful. You can save on a high savings instrument or saving time product, but if it erodes on your capital or your capital is at risk, so for example, you take this 200 Rand a month that you've now saving. So make sure that that 200 is intact and you earn interest on it, okay? But when you earn interest on it, make sure it's a great rate. So firstly, your capital is intact, you get a great rate of interest so that it grows, yeah? And then also make sure you don't pay any fees or commissions. Yeah. Now, some people will allure you with the high interest rate, but there's a catch around fees and commissions.
To manage that account
so you must make sure
yeah.
that you have no fees and commission. And then the thing that I just love about Nedbank is that when you save or invest with us, we take a portion of the revenue that we make and donate it to a charity that's close to your heart. You don't pay a cent, you just save and invest, you get your capital's guaranteed, you're getting this awesome rate of interest, you're paying no fees and commission, yet you are still contributing to a charity. That has to be the cherry on the top.
I absolutely love it, and I do bank with you guys, and that was one of the things that brought me in, was being able to give back to nature and then help support Nelson Mandela Children's Fund and all these wonderful things that you guys are linked to. Just very quickly, maybe, Vanessa, you can give me one good habit that has helped you save that we can maybe put out there.
So I've learned some of my best lessons from my mom. The first day I started working, I've put money away. And I thought I'm going to have the short-term, medium-term and long-term kind of plan. You know, it's awesome to say that my money is still locked in for 20 years. I've not touched my money that I've been saving from the first day I started working. And I started doing that.
So you've been working for 20 years?
I've been working for 20 years this year. Yay! So, I mean, that's a great achievement, and hopefully I can keep it for the next 20 years until I retire and see what that grows to. But definitely, you know, I started to buy a car and then realized, well, how could I save from this? Just, you know, Vanessa spoke about petrol the last time. So I started carpooling and started saving money in terms of giving people a ride and sharing and splitting those costs. So all that money went back into my savings fund.
So, like,
I'm a big hustler. I'm growing my money. It's making it hustle for me. So every year it's a new hustle and more money to get in there. And hopefully I can resist temptation for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna judge if I see a new watch on you the next time you come in, Vanessa. Ladies, thank you so much. Just some sage words coming out there. And again, remember that a little saved today is a little more saved tomorrow. A lot more if you really do apply yourself to it. And if you're looking for ways to save, the options are out there just to educate yourself. And we want to urge you to join the hashtag #MySavingsPledge as well. So go and visit us on Facebook at the moment. Tell us what you're willing to pledge to give up. Just something small that you're willing to give up every day to see those savings grow. We want to hear from you.
I take big leaps. I make plans and backup plans. I just need my money to take me further.
Let your money take you further. Save or invest and get a great rate. Pay no monthly fees or commissions and get fully guaranteed capital. See money differently. Nedbank.
We continue our hashtag My Money story with Eugene Coetzer, the frontman, of course, of Monark, but now we've discovered has a PhD in ancient Greek as well, and possibly a PhD in financial matters, as Grant has been schooled this morning by Eugene. But we are sitting next to an incredible and very realistic financial resource in Grant, and he's helped us with a huge amount of our personal issues as well. Is there a particular issue that you are battling with right now that you'd like a bit of guidance on?
Yeah, I think I would like to know, like, if you make choices now for the future, what is the best option? Or even if you have to choose, like, what are the risks to every part? Like, should you, like, put all of your money into a long-term investment? Or should you maybe buy property? Or should you maybe start a little business, even if you don't know too much about it? Or maybe, like, a coffee shop or something? Like, what's the best thing? And what are the risks?
Clearly the band is doing well then. I love that.
It's like Ross White. He's like, I've got too much money. What do I do? I've got a problem. So I think that's a really good question. So what I always recommend to people, and especially when it comes to creatives, is to try and figure out how do you quantify everything. So when you're wanting to buy something or invest in something, you need to understand what sort of return are you going to get on that. So we call that the internal rate of return. So if you buy a property, are you going to make money on that property when you sell it one day for the price that you paid for it? And then let's use another, the second example. If I invest in a long-term investment, will I make more money than the property? And then if I had to invest in a company, which one of the three are going to give me the best internal rate of return? So we're always going to look at that sort of the number to quantify what am I going to get the best return on my money for? Because remember, in life, we only got so many investment opportunities. And when you're starting to buy property and investing into businesses and that, you normally land up putting quite a bit of money into these resources. And those resources you're wanting to make work in the very best possible way to make you as much possible money for yourself. So we use the phrase, you want to make your money work for you instead of you work for your money. So that internal rate of return is the quantifying methodology. So if I put 100,000 Rand in 5 years' time, out of the three, which is going to give me the highest return? And that's normally the one you're going to go for first. So it's not one or the other, or you know, whatever the case. But it's the one that's going to give you the best return. However, when it comes to property, sometimes it becomes an emotional decision because some people don't like renting. They want their own property. So that then boils down to, you know, am I really wanting to take the risk? And property markets are at a high now, or are they at a low, you know? So you always want to buy a property. When you make your money when you buy your property, not when you sell it one day, because the price you buy it for is what's going to determine if you're going to make money on it or not.
That is a very cool thing you're saying there. Yeah. That's like something to keep
And that's where most people make a mistake, is they think, okay, I'm going to buy a property now, and in a few years' time, I'm going to sell it and make a profit. No, no, you make your money when you buy it, straight away. Wow. So that's the bottom line. So even there, you have to quantify it. Like, you need to take commission into case. You need to take all of the different things into consideration. And are you going to make money out of it, you know? A lot of people like property. The reason being is because you're dealing with big figures. But if you quantify it again, you're normally dealing with like a 5 to 8% return. Yeah. If you now do a long-term investment with us, you're looking at a 12 to 15% return. So it's like a no-brainer, and you've got liquidity. You don't have any risk in whatever economy or whatever the case.
And also your hands are untied. You can
so you've got the liquidity. So then if other opportunities come around, then you can go and do them. So we call that fishing. So the more fishing rods you have in the water, or the lines you have in the water, the more opportunities that come along you can try catch.
Oh, Eugene, in your case, I can just throw a net, bro. Yeah. I mean, you're going to throw a net at this stage. So hopefully we've removed the need for financial planning and a psychologist this morning. Very interesting conversation. I'm very proud of where you guys have taken it. They built the first fishing rod, man.
They gave to the Caesar what belongs to.
Give to Caesar.
Oh, gentlemen, what an interesting chat. Really excited to see where you as a band, you as an individual are going at the moment, so congratulations on that. But even more interesting to find out about your backstory. A PhD in ancient Greek. That's well gravitas, my friend. Gravitas, I know it's Latin, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
Definitely gravitas,
that is Eugene's hashtag My Money story. If you've got any questions that you'd like to forward on to Grant, please connect with us and ask us your questions. We'd love to connect with you as well.
Thank you so much, G. I'm feeling more financially empowered every single day. Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we're taking a look at the 5FM Top 40 tracks, and we're also bringing you the highlights from SA Menswear Week. All that and more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large, and in charge this morning. Thank you so much for spending the day with us, or starting it off with us at least, as we reflect on some international entertainment news. Good news, by the way.
Definitely good news, because earlier this week we reported on Julianne Hough's and Brooks Leish's wedding, but now we can finally show you just how lavish the ceremony was. Well, first off, the bride and groom arrived in impeccable style aboard a luxury boat, driven by Brooks himself. On land, Julianne looked every bit of a beautiful bride as her father walked her down the aisle, and romance was certainly in the air as the pair exchanged vows and sealed the deal with a very passionate kiss. And to top it all off, has about 1,000 confetti to ring in the newlyweds. Straight out of magazine, if you ask me. Absolutely beautiful and idyllic and romantic.
Before you saw the wide shot like that, it looked like they could literally have been beside some cornfield in Kuruman. It looked like it's possible.
It could have been, hey?
Like, look at that. That could have been somewhere there in Northern Cape.
So stunning, so stunning. And look at Granny here.
That's beautiful.
Perfect eye contact to the camera.
Photo
She
bomb.
has been looking at the kiss there. Anyways, Hilary Duff has a new man. Yeah. The actress was spotted with businessman Eli Sandvik this week as they took in some fun in the Malibu sun. Now, from surfing to swimming, the couple clearly had eyes for only each other. Rumor has it that Hilary and Eli have been dating for a few months, and that Hilary has already introduced him to her 5-year-old son, Luca. Now, while he wasn't present for his beach trip, an insider says that they get along very, very well, which is, of course, a major priority for Hilary. And who knows, with her son by her side, perhaps Eli has already gotten one step closer to maybe going to that next level. So who knows? But they look very happy together.
Yes.
Hey? Look at that eye contact. It's like
some good news.
Right here, honey. Right here.
Good news, good news. Well, listen, that's where we leave our international entertainment news, and now turning our attention, excuse me, to the 5FM Top 40 International Chart Show. Let's see how they do. It seems like good luck heavyweights. They were former number one Josh Middleton. He's in the bottom half, but can Justin Bieber stay at the top? Here's Nick Hammond to tell us more.
Hey, what's up? It's Nick Hammond back with another recap of the 5FM Top 40 from this past weekend. And like we do every week, let's begin by looking at the brand new entries onto the charts. This one, penetrating the back end at number 40, is local. It's from Sutherland, called Closer.
I know you wanna come a little closer. We get so high when we get low.
And the second new entry pick I went for this week comes in at number 25. It's new music from 2 SA Giants, Good Luck and Kyle Watson, called Tall Walls. It's time we check out the mover and shaker selections for the week. These are tunes that I picked as ones to watch in the music industry around the globe. And now, ever since One Direction ironically went their separate ways, we've all looked at the different music that they've all had to offer. Included in that, Niall Horan going from 38 to 24 with Slow Hands. My second mover and shaker pick this week went from number 17 to number 12. It's Future with Mask Off. Let's check out the biggest songs from around the globe, beginning at number 10 from this past weekend. It's Davido, one of the biggest on the continent, with him. Coming in one position ahead at number 9 this week, it's Kygo and Selena Gomez with It Ain't Me. Coming in this week at number 8, it's French Montana and Sway Lee with Unforgettable. Taking the number 7 position on the charts, one of the youngest pop stars of the game at only 18, it's Shawn Mendes with There's Nothing Holding Back.
Baby, there's nothing holding me back.
Coming in hot for the number 6 spot is Charlie Puth and Attention.
You just want attention, you don't want my heart.
At halfway through the back end of the top 5, coming in 2 massive stalwarts teaming up together, Chainsmokers and Coldplay with Something Just Like This.
Oh, I want something just like this.
And at number 4 this week, coming off his album Divide, it's Ed Sheeran with Shape of You.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with you.
And coming in this week at number 3, it's a former number 1 from Justin Bieber, DJ Khaled, Quavo and Chance with Wayne, called I'm the One.
I'm the one. I'm the only one. Quavo. I'm the one that hit that same spot.
Then at number 2 this week, it's another one from DJ Khaled, this time with Rihanna, called Wild Thoughts.
Wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts. Wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to catch me, Nick Hammond, Monday to Friday, 9 to 12 on 5FM's Hammond Time. And of course, every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to find out who'll take the number 1 spot on the 5FM Top 40. Speaking of which, this past weekend, it went to Justin Bieber and Louis Fonso with Despacito.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nick Hammond. We'll bring you more of an update from the 5FM Top 40 next week. Now, the Expresso New Metro Movie Club just keeps on giving. And the best part, the club covers the latest films in the best formats. And sometimes we love to throw in just a little exceptional, exclusive cinema-going experience as well. Luc Besson is back, and to mark the occasion this week, we bring you an extra special movie event like no other by transporting cinema-goers to a first screening and a full entertainment event of Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets.
World-renowned director Luc Besson, best known for The Fifth Element, treats movie fans to yet another once-in-a-lifetime film spectacular. When a dark force threatens the existence of a vast metropolis of the future, 2 special operatives are the only chance of salvation. Be the first in South Africa to experience Besson's masterpiece, Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, at a special screening event on the 20th of July. With themed drinks, food and entertainment, New Metro's exclusive VIP cinema in Hyde Park will be transformed into the City of 1,000 Planets. Tickets and more info for this showcase movie event can be found on the New Metro website. New Metro, it's your scene.
Well, exciting stuff, certainly at the cinema. And also here in our Feel Good studio, where we're joined by a South African local band called Diamond Thug. Now, the release of their EP in 2016 has led to much success, seeing them go all around the world traveling with their music. And we get to talk to them before we hear them performing on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And we're so excited, guys. Good morning to you.
Yeah, great.
Have you had a good stay so far? And you arrived very early setting up all the instruments.
Yeah.
Have you been served coffee and all those good things?
Yes, we have.
Fantastic. Tell me about the history of the group a little bit. Where did Diamond Thug meet and then decide, guys, we are going to name ourselves after a criminal activity? It's nice.
Yeah, well, I watched Chantal playing in another band at a festival a few years back, and I was like, do you want to make hip-hop? And she was like,
Yes.
yes. And then we started kind of, essentially, those are my words.
I was so excited to rap.
Yeah, we started producing some hip-hop stuff, and over the years, the music sort of changed from hip-hop into what it is today, which is sort of like a mix-up of like rock, alternative, and indie pop. Stuff, and I think the name sort of
all the genres in
the
there.
name sort of made a lot more sense when we were a hip hop band, but we like it. We like it. It's nice to like go meet your girlfriend's parents, and they're like, so what do you do? You're in a band.
I play Diamond Thug.
What's it called? Diamond Thug.
And then Adrian and Ted, how did they become part of the band?
Adrian actually watched us at our first show. Yeah, and he came up to us.
You were
and he
the
was
band
like,
that got in there.
Yeah. And then Ted actually at Orpi Corpi, I think 3 years ago, snuck onto stage. Yeah, we didn't know him.
Under the cover of the bushy hair.
Yeah, and he was like, hug me. I told them I'm your cousin.
Yeah, I was like, who's this guy?
And now he's in the band, yeah. So if you want to audition...
There's various ways of doing it. But, I mean, obviously to great success now that you guys are together and you dropped the EP last year, 2016. Yeah. Still very, very fresh. Monday will have to wait, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And tell me about how well that's done for you.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Don't downplay
I think one of the most exciting things that happened is we got like a spot play on 5FM with Longway.
Yeah.
And the Goldfish guys happened to be in the car when that song happened. And then they got in touch with us and we got together and did a collaboration. Other than that, it's been cool. We got to tour it in Europe. And
of course, the big news right now is that you've recorded all the songs to your new album, which is due to drop when? When can we expect it?
Probably January.
I think
January of next year. Okay, so obviously a lot of PR and marketing that needs to go into it, and hopefully we can help a little bit with that when you guys perform live over here. So make sure that you do stay tuned for that. We'll have Diamond Thug performing on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Of course, you're seeing Chef Angie and Chef Peter's here. If you have any culinary conundrums that you need answers, never fear, because the culinary hotline, bling, ting, 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 is here. Y'all left me hanging, but it's okay. Again.
Give us a call on 021 430 9881. And then, of course, we just spoke to them, but stick around. Diamond Thug performing for us after the break.
Hello, it's me. That's so cool. Hello from the other side.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are live, large, and in charge right here on SABC3. Diamond Thug is in the house. Of course, the excitement of the release of their album, full-blown album, coming out next year. But right now, we get to see it for the very first time. Them performing the single, the first single from the album, for the first time on television. It's called Eclipse. Diamond Thug on your feel-good breakfast show with Eclipse, and that will be the very first single you said, right?
It is, yeah.
From the upcoming album. It's out already. It's out there. It's out there. Listen, what do you think it is about your music that sets you apart from everyone else out there?
We just, I don't know. I think we're weird people, and we just try to be as weird as we can when we do what we do.
They cut it off.
Because you might do weird things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what my voice would sound like if I was part of Diamond Thug. Yes. Right.
Where can people follow you online?
Anyway. Yeah. Wherever you want. We're on Instagram.
So we don't really have a specific handle.
We got SoundCloud, we got Facebook,
Yeah,
we got Twitter.
the general one's Diamond Thug Band.
Fantastic stuff, guys. Thank you for the music, and we look forward to more of it. Thank you very much to Golden Circle for providing the technical equipment for that wonderful performance. Hope you enjoyed it at home. Let us know what you think about it on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. To Leanne doing the news.
Hello from the other side.
Baie dankie, Gat. In die Nasionale Nuus, die Sentrum vir Kinderreg gaan teen 'n Hooggeregshof uitspraak appeleer dat die identiteit van kindermolesteerders, slagoffers en getuies bekend gemaak word sodra hulle 18 jaar oud word. Die bevinding in die Gautengse Hooggeregshof in Pretoria gister spruit uit die Zephany Nurse saak waar die regeringsorganisasies en aktiviste aansoeke gerig het dat die identiteit van kinders beskerm behoort te word self nadat hulle ouderdom van 18 bereik het. Die hoof van die Sentrum vir Kinderreg, Professor Anne Skelton, sê die bevinding is teleurstellend en haar organisasie is van plan om te appeleer omrede hierdie aangeleenthede kinders raak en so spoedig doenlik opgeklaar moet word. 'n Nuwe verslag deur die CLR regskommissie het bevind dat daar talle ongeregistreerde godsdienstleiers in die land is wat kultagtige metodes inspan om aanhangers te lok. Dit volg nadat die kommissie 'n ondersoek van stapel laat loop het op grond van besware dat sommige pastore van gevaarlike helingsmetodes gebruik maak. Die voorsitter van die kommissie, Toko Mkwanazi Kaluva, sê die skerp toename in die aantal ongeregistreerde godsdienstige instellings en die gebruik van verantwoordbaarheid in die godsdienstsektor skep rede tot diepe kommer. Op die internasionale front, die nuwe Franse regering het besnoeiings aan openbare bestedings bekend gemaak ten einde die tekort benede 'n limiet van die Europese Unie te bring wat reeds 'n dekade lank veronagsaam is. Die regering sal verdediging, buitelandse sake en vervoer met 4,5 biljoen euros inkort, maar openbare dienste en belasting sal nie geraak word nie. Die besnoeiings kom daarop neer dat bestedigingsprojeksies in 2017 tot 322 biljoen euros sal afneem en die land dan sal voldoen aan die EU se stabiliteitspact. Dit was vroeër vanjaar een van president Emmanuel Macron se verkiesingsbeloftes. En dan ten slotte, die Europese Hof het menseregte, of liewer vir menseregte, het beslis dat België se verbod op gesigsleiers nie die Europese konvensie oor menseregte skend nie. Die uitspraak volg op 'n saak wat deur 2 vroue aanhange gemaak is wat die niqab, 'n volgesigsleier wou dra, die bedek alles behalwe die oë. Die hof het saamgestem dat die verbod probeer om die konsep van saamleef en die beskerming van die regte en vryhede van ander te waarborg deur die aanvanklike verbod van 2011 op die dra van gedeeltelike of totale gesigsleiers in die openbaar te handhaaf. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Let's get another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
We start with high-stakes cricket this morning. Round 6 of the Women's Cricket World Cup continues today, and it sees South Africa in a must-win game against Sri Lanka. With 2 matches remaining in the group stage, South Africa find themselves in 5th place on the log with 7 points. That's 1 place out of the semi-final spots. Some other fixtures to look out for today in the World Cup. We've got Australia taking on India and England facing off against the White Ferns of New Zealand. Then staying with cricketing news, former Proteas cricket player Lonwabo Tsotsobe has been banned from the sport for 8 years for breaching Cricket South Africa's personal anti-corruption code. Tsotsobe's ban, which runs from April 2017, comes after the player admitted to match fixing and accepting bribes during the 2015 Ram Slam T20 Challenge. Former fast bowler made his debut for the Proteas back in 2009 in a match against Australia in Melbourne. Then on to the tour. German rider Marcel Kittel claimed his 4th win at this year's Tour de France yesterday as he came out on top in a dramatic sprint finish in stage 10. Kittel crossing the line in just over 4 hours to earn his 13th overall Tour de France stage win, making him the most successful German cyclist in the Tour's history. Now 2016 Tour winner and current race leader Chris Froome, he held onto that yellow jersey with an 18-second lead over Italy's Fabio Aru. Then on to the grass courts of Wimbledon. Once again, world number 11, Venus Williams. She secured her place in the Wimbledon semi-finals yesterday thanks to a straight sets win over Jelena Ostapenko. In fact, wasn't born when Williams played her first Wimbledon tournament. Williams, a 5-time Wimbledon champion, played through a simple 6-3, 7-5 win to progress to her 10th semi-final appearance at the grass court Grand Slam. And some other results coming out of the day. We saw quarterfinal wins for Magdalena Rybiankova, Garbiñe Muguruza and Johanna Konta. That's where we leave our sport for today.
Well, let's take a final look at your traffic for this morning. Starting off in Gauteng, Diepkloof, not looking great on the roads due to multiple accidents. That's on the N1 Western Bypass. It's before Albertina Sisulu Road. There's also heavy delays from the Golden Highway, so allow for some extra travel time this morning. If you're in Cape Town in Ashleyanne, there's some congestion building on the N2 inbound. That's from Jan Smuts Drive and Hospital Bend. Well, that's where we leave your traffic for now. Let's take one final look at what to expect in your weather. Seems like most parts of the country can expect a chilly start with sunny to partly cloudy conditions expected, except for Pietermaritzburg and Durban, where you can expect some showers. Polokwane starting off on a low of 6, reaching a high of 22. Mbombela 11, 23. Pretoria 8, 24. Johannesburg 8, 22. Mahikeng 9, 26. Klerksdorp 11 met 'n maksimum van 26. Kimberley 6, 27. Bloemfontein 4, 24. Richards Bay 15 met 'n maksimum van 21. Pietermaritzburg 9 en styg na 17. Reën kan verwag word in Durban 16 met 'n maksimum van 20. Mthatha 5 reaching a high of 17. If you're in East London today, expect a low of 11, a high of 18. Craddock starting off a cool 0, reaching a high of 19. Port Elizabeth 10, 18. George 7, 15. Sutherland -4, reaching a high of 13. If you're in Cape Town, expect a low of 9, a high of 16. Worcester -1, 16. Springbok 0, reaching a high of 17. And Uppington starting off on 5, reaching a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Well, when you see this, I'm sure you know what time it is. It's time for our emoji charades game, and let's see if you can figure this out. Well, the clue that we gave you was this song was released in 2017, and it was the artist's 6th studio album. So let's see, we know that it's a song, there's one word, there's a picture of like an ocean and a happy in love face. So let's see what we can have here. Our very first question, or rather answer, comes from Fortune, who says, I don't know. Mitch says goldfish, okay, because of the whole ocean setup. Thomas Pule says this one is so tough. And then Sipetisle says, wow, no idea. It seems like Desiree Jacobs was the only one to get it right. Miley Cyrus, Malibu. So congratulations to her. Now, it was a little bit tough today, but let's see if we can get this right when we play this game next week. Same time, same place.
Like, why did I think it was... I swear I heard somebody say Miley Cyrus Battle of the Moon.
Battle of the Moon, is that it?
Does she have a song called that? Anyway, on to other news. Listen, Vodacom is about to make your day with free data. In fact, you can explore Facebook on Mondays, lifestyle on Tuesdays, gaming on Wednesdays, Instagram on Thursdays, music on Fridays, sports on Saturdays, and videos on Sunday. All you got to do to qualify is buy a Vodacom 100 meg data bundle or more, and then have a positive data balance.
Yep, and then simply dial *111 *634#, or you can go and download the latest My Vodacom app. And remember to opt in daily. Don't miss out on up to 1 gig of free data every day from South Africa's leading network. For more information, of course, you can find all of those terms and conditions on vodacom.co.za.
Well, listen, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Our parenting expert, Nicki Bush, joins us in studio. I know it's school holidays, the kids are at home. Well, it's all about winter activities to make home time fun with the kids.
And then if you have any cooking conundrums and you need some help, our experts are here, Angie and Chef Peter. And of course, we're going to be answering that for you. The number you need to call 021 430 9881. And that's going to happen on the culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Yes! Yes!
When you feed your cat's health, you also feed her happiness. And wonderful things can happen. Like she's able to go from 0 to playful pouncing. And her soft purrs increase until you're both curled up with satisfaction. Because you're feeding the clinically proven nutrition of Hill's Science Plan, precisely prepared with top quality ingredients. After all, when she's healthier, she's happier. And you'll see it from her head to her tail. Give your cat the science of happy, found in the brand recommended by vets worldwide.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
That can only mean
Oh, you know what time of the week it is, baby? My favorite time of the week, where you can give us a call on 021 4309881. It's time for the Culinary Hotline Bling. Sing, sing, sing. We take your culinary conundrums. Angie Boyd, Peter Ayub here. Fantastic to see you again.
Good to see you.
Always excited. Should we just take on our very first call already? Because I'm sure he's raring to go. Russell from Kimberley is on the line. Good morning, Russell.
Good morning, how are you?
Oh, very good. How's Kimberley? Is it cold there? I feel like the northern part of the country
today,
is...
Very cold today.
Easy. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so what is your culinary conundrum, Russell?
What's the easiest way to make a vegan chocolate cake or muffin?
Oh, how to make a vegan chocolate cake or muffin? Is that even possible?
It certainly is.
Okay, Russell, here we go. Hope you're watching from home. What are we doing here?
Okay, so very simply, when you're doing a vegan version of a recipe, you need to replace a couple of the things. So your eggs you can't have, because obviously that's not vegan.
Yes.
So eggs, any dairy needs to be replaced. So you can't have butter, you can't have yogurt, you can't have milk, all of that jazz. So it's pretty straightforward. You've got your dry ingredients, and this is a nice quick mix recipe. So flour, you've got some sugar. Doesn't mean it's necessarily any healthier for you, because it's got the sugar in it. Then you've got some cocoa powder.
Could you substitute the sugar with something healthier?
To be perfectly honest, and this is my honest personal opinion, the sugar is not that bad for you if you do it in moderation.
Okay.
The other options are not necessarily any better for you either.
All right, so just make sure you spend a lot more hours in the gym.
That. And don't have too much of it. Okay, we've got some raising agent, and then this is the key ingredient for me in my particular recipe, which is soya flour. Not soy milk powder, but soya flour.
Okay.
So it's got the protein and it is your egg replacer. You could use mashed banana, you could add some avocado, you could do flax seeds as well. So you can add those as well. It helps to stabilize.
The problem with those, they're going to flavour it quite a bit, aren't they?
Oh, of course.
They can do. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's
so this is probably your
pretty
more
neutral.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we need to, instead of your butter or even margarine you can't use, you need to have an oil.
I found out to my disappointment that baking with butter and baking with margarine has two very different results. The other day, my cookies were a flop.
Yeah, it does. And baking with oil also has a different result. If you're very fanatical about the oils, you have seed oil, you could just use olive oil in this. Because it's a chocolate recipe, you can get away with the olive oil because the chocolate and the olive oil will sort of match. It's strong enough.
Dry ingredients.
And then you just mix the two together, and that is that.
All right. Get it into your...
Get it into your tin and bake it at about 180. Whoops.
Lovely stuff.
I'm really good at making this. And that is your recipe.
All right, fantastic stuff. Let's quickly go on to our next question. From Iketeng on Facebook says, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
So I want to make chicken curry. Must I use fresh milk? Is that what we have right now?
No, we...
That's a completely different... But let's give advice on this. Okay. Must I use fresh milk or buttermilk in order to make a chicken curry? How about that?
Definitely not milk. I would do like a butter chicken. I'd either use yogurt or buttermilk. but definitely not milk. Milk's not going to give you the same effect.
And it might curdle as well.
Yeah, because you need to be nice and thick and creamy.
Yeah, and normally what you do is you take your whole peeled tomato, blitz it, add your yogurt or buttermilk to that, and then you layer it all over your chicken and you let it sit like that for maybe two hours to, or even overnight.
Yeah.
But so that sort of marinates it in the yogurt or the buttermilk, but definitely not milk.
You could use coconut milk.
Yeah.
There we go. If you want to try something different, almond milk maybe.
Almond milk maybe.
Not really.
You're really going to get the same thickness.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, Iketing. Hopefully that helps your culinary conundrum. We'll keep our lines open, 0214309881. We'll be back with a culinary hotline bling. Sing, sing, sing.
So earlier this morning, we spoke about how parents can create a fun and learning and creative environment at home where we need to be in these colder winter months. How can we stay engaged and, of course, above all, have a lot of creative fun? Nikki, are there other ways that we can engage in that creative fun space?
Absolutely, Graham. And for me, actually, card games are probably the quickest, easiest way to have a bit of fun with children. I mean, this one is really fun. It's called Hive Q Monuments and Landmarks.
Oh, cool.
And it's about collecting 4 of a kind, like you would with a normal deck of cards. But here we're collecting landmarks, whether they are rivers or monuments, whatever in the world. And so you learn general knowledge at the same time. But think of trump cards. Where you're collecting cars or aeroplanes or animal cards even. You know, you're learning, you're collecting, and it might only take 10 or 15 minutes versus an hour or 3 hours for a board game.
For me, I think what was most fun, I'm looking at kind of the plaster dough here, but anything that involved getting my hands dirty, literally, and getting the house dirty, unfortunately. Being creative, experimenting, getting scientific.
So children love mixing and matching. They love to make things. They love to experiment. They love to use their senses. You know, we talk about children being multi-sensory learners. So give them stuff they can push and pull and prod. We've got science experiments. You know, these are the kinds of things kids get given for birthday parties. You stick them in the top of the cupboard and you forget about them. When you've got time in the July school holidays, haul them out. This is a craft kit where you're actually beading handbags.
Oh, cool.
There's tons of these things on the market. They don't have to cost a lot of money either. Here we have a house that you can build out of Play-Doh. And it comes with all the molds to make your bricks and things like that. And then using normal household ingredients like water, food colouring, and some corn flour, you can make what's, I call it corn flour slime, but the real name is oobleck.
I was going to go with gloop, which seems pretty close,
So
but oobleck is pretty onomatopoeic,
If you go onto nickibush.com and just put in cornflower slime in the search window, you'll pick up recipes for this and a video. But perhaps you'd like to just stick your finger in there and show our viewers what it's like. So it's a liquid, but it's also solid, and it's like
that is the weirdest texture ever.
Totally fascinating.
It's like gloopy. When you apply pressure to it, it goes solid. But if you let it just do its thing, it goes completely gloopy.
A little bit like when you're doing those little drippy castles on the beach with sand and water.
It becomes a solid. If you apply, the more pressure you apply, the stronger
actually,
it gets.
you could make a ball out of it if you worked very, very fast.
Look at that.
And what we try to do, you know, for a 2 or 3-year-old, this is just complete fascination.
Just for a 2 or 3-year-old, you know?
For a 7 to 10-year-old, they want to know, how does this work? And we want to get kids involved and engaged in their own learning, and
now I understand why I was given the courtesy of a piece of paper towel.
That's right.
But that
you're the one
amazing.
with the blue fingers, not me.
Yeah, I know. This, but what a cool way to start thinking in a scientific way about what's going on in that as the child grows a little bit older, to start thinking about consistency and about texture and touch and all these things. It's not just very tactile and fun, even for an adult. There's something educational in there.
You know, kids don't know things like, if you take a piece of paper and you do pencil on the back of a piece of paper, then you turn it over and you draw on top of where you did that little pencil rubbing on another piece of paper, you will create like a carbon copy. That's magic for kids. They don't know these things that came from the ark.
Maybe the wonder and the novelty has worn off in you, and I think I'm just going to reinforce that with something that you say with so many of our play-related chats. Let that play be uninterrupted. Let your child fully explore and enjoy that space. Nicki Bush, you've blown my mind a little bit today. Absolutely love I'm going to
continue to call it galoop, but you can get the recipe to make this maize flour slime.
Corn flour, water, and food colouring, that's it.
But it's on nickibush.com, so go out and check it out and make sure that you engage your own senses. Take this opportunity during those colder winter months to educate your child, but also let them have fun, uninterrupted fun. Let them really explore and learn more about themselves and the beautiful world.
All right, we're back in the kitchen again with Peter and Angie. We're talking culinary hotline bling.
Ding,
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 ding, ding. All right, yes.
Was
Riding
that
that wave. That was a lot better. I felt your energy. It was in there, Peter. All right, that number 0214309881. Let's quickly catch on to our next question. That came from Yanga, who caught up with us on Facebook. And he says, how do I make steak tartare?
Ooh.
That's fancy, Yanga. Very fancy.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to treat? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, quick and simple. What we've done, we've taken a piece of filet, we've rinsed it, we then put some salt on either side, wrapped it in some cling wrap, put it in the fridge for an hour.
Filet, can you use any other piece of...
No, you must remember this is something very soft and you want it to almost melt in your mouth.
Cool.
Okay. Please don't use mincemeat. You need to buy a full, because mincemeat's got all parts of the animal.
Marino, Peter, when you come from Kasi, you need to sometimes use the budget.
Not when you're making tartare. Okay. So what we've done, so don't leave it longer than an hour, otherwise you're going to cure the meat. Then you take it out the fridge and wash it again and pat it dry. And the reason we do that is so that the liquids actually stay into the meat. Okay, so you don't have the blood going all over.
Okay.
So that's what we've done. So this has been chopped up with a knife, not through a mincer. You don't want it to be mushy. You want it to be nice little chunks, okay? We take some beautiful red onion that you guys have chopped nicely for me. So we're going to pop that in. So Steph's an absolute gem. Some gherkin, some capers, and the important thing about anything in a brine, make sure you rinse it first to take away that brine flavor. A lot of people say, oh, I don't like capers because they taste in the brine as opposed to the actual caper. So that is something that people need to understand. Some parsley into that, a little bit of red wine vinegar.
Alrighty.
Okay, a little bit of olive oil.
I like how you're not scared to really get involved with your food, Peter. Your hands are just in there.
You know, I can't tell you, like and around the world, they've moved away from using gloves because it's actually less hygienic to use gloves than actually touching with your hand.
Wow.
So, you know, if you're worried about the chef touching your food, then you shouldn't eat out. Okay, last thing now, we're going to put some salt and pepper.
They do wash their hands.
Believe it or not, we do wash our hands.
Here we go.
So salt and pepper. Now I'm going to just pop it into here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That looks like it was very easy. Obviously, a lot of mise en place beforehand to make sure that all the ingredients are ready.
That's a big word. Explain what mise en place?
Mise en place, the culinary term referring to preparation before actual execution.
That is impressive. That is so impressive. Okay.
Merci beaucoup.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to make it look fancy.
First, look at this now.
What we need to do is make a little indent on the top.
So, Yanga, this is how you serve your steak tartare.
Yeah, this is how we're going to serve it. You're going to drive the woman crazy. You know?
So in case you're trying to treat Uma Bebeza, this is what you do. Oh, look at that. Get out of my life.
Now we're just going to make it a little bit fancier. Some slices of Marlboro toast. Squeeze of lemon.
Peter, just laying it on thick with the game.
Okay, a little bit more parsley. And lastly, a little bit of olive oil, just to give it that beautiful...
Just look at that. Peter Ayub. Masterclass. Masterclass on steak tartare. Thank you very much for that awesome question, Yanga, and I hope that that has certainly inspired you. We'll be right back talking about something very, very cool that the two of you are doing. But of course, keep calling us on 0214309881 for the culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting.
That's right. Well, you know what? We're now moving on to some exciting news for our foodies. It's Wednesday, and that means we get to announce our next Dis-Chem hamper winner. And a big congratulations goes out to Yolandi Marais, who has won herself a Dis-Chem lifestyle foods hamper worth over 750 Rand. Now, if you're going to love this one because it's packed with a whole range of super yummy and super healthy foods.
Absolutely. Now, this week, Dis-Chem is giving away another incredible hamper, which includes all of our wellness expert Lisa Raleig's kitchen favorites. Now, this hamper is valued at 2,000 Rand and includes all your kitchen essentials, from healthy food alternatives to recipe books to even cooking utensils. So this is definitely one to get your hands on. And to win, just SMS Dis-Chem to 33728. It's that easy.
Yes, and don't forget, every SMS entry also gets you one step closer to winning that grand prize of 12,000 Rand in Dis-Chem shopping vouchers. Now that's 1,000 bucks a month, and all you have to do is SMS us, and those are charged at R1.50. Those T's and C's can be found on our website. That's expressoshow.com.
Dis-Chem, pharmacists who care.
Well, getting a masterclass from Peter and Angie this morning. Our culinary team are going to continue to answer your conundrums after the break. Then we're going to put our presenters to the general knowledge test, see how well they fare. You can join us for that in a mo.
Get a free Dream Maker pillow when you buy selected bags of Hills dog food.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
Yes, call us on your cell phone or your landline, wherever you can call us on 0214309881. The culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting is with you always. That was creepy, wasn't it?
That was very creepy.
Peter and Angie are here. We're taking some of your interesting questions, including this one from Marina, who said, how do I make my homemade mayonnaise? I don't know how you make yours, but this is how we make ours.
This is how we make ours.
Cool. So I'm going to chat while Ange does the work. Okay?
You know.
So what we've done is we've taken 2 egg yolks. Okay, whisked it up nicely. Then we're going to take about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard.
Alrighty.
Okay, so not too strong. You don't want English mustard because it's going to be too pungent.
Okay.
So your mustard is the emulsifier. It helps with adding that oil.
The emulsifier.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The important thing now is that we add the oil very slowly. Okay. If you don't do that, it's going to split.
Okay, and once it's split, you can't get it back together again.
You can.
But you don't want to try, it's going to be too arduous.
Yeah, you can. A little bit of hot water and a hand blender always brings a lot of things
Hand
back
blenders fix everything.
You know those like wish-wish?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Wishy-wishy. That's a new term for a hand blender. Sorry, sir. Do you have a wishy-wishy in your shop?
And basically, you just keep going now.
All right.
Yeah, and this is...
It's going to take us a while.
And then obviously salt and pepper to flavour, right?
Yeah, and then lastly, when the consistency is right,
nice and
a little bit of vinegar and a squeeze of lemon, salt and pepper to taste.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much...
That's all you
And you
do.
just do it as slow as you want.
Slowly,
and that's what's going to make a good mayo.
Despacito, despacito. Why I was rushing is because we've got a call on the line. Vanessa, I believe, is on the line. Good morning, Vanessa.
Morning, Kit, Angie, and Peter. How are you?
Oh, so good, so good. I love the smile in your voice at this time of the morning. What's your culinary conundrum?
Thank you. Listen, it's my daughter's 30th birthday on Saturday, and I'd like to make a panna cotta for her. Okay? Now the thing is, I've got the gelatine that is, it looks like brown sugar. It's not the see-through gelatine. How many of these gelatines, the granulated one, okay, do I use to make 8 panna cottas, please?
Sure. Caught me on this.
8 panna cottas, how many of the granulated gelatines do you use? Yes. Is there maybe a proportion to say so many per one, and then obviously you can just multiply it from there, right?
Yeah, so I would go with 1 sachet for about a 500 ml recipe. So whatever your cream and milk ratio is, obviously everyone has their own recipe. I've got mine. You can always look it up, and I could send it to you or what have you. But about 1 sachet per 500 ml.
What is the size of the sachet?
It's a 10-gram sachet or a 15 ml sachet.
All right.
And then just sort of increase it from there. So to make 8 panna cottas, you're looking at about a 125 ml cup or portion per panna cotta. So you're going to need to double that then.
All right. Does that make sense, Vanessa? Is that helpful?
Yeah, this is a surprise. I've never made it, so I want to make it that it turns out decent, because I am known as a good cook by them, so I don't know, mess up.
I would highly recommend to practice it first before you make it for the birthday.
Thank you. Have a lovely day, and thanks for the help, Angie, and you, Kat, and Peter. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Vanessa, you've just made my morning. Thank you so much. We'll keep those lines open on 0214309881 for the culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting.
Yes, I love the culinary hotline bling, but now I love fashion, and while we all like to stay on top of international fashion trends, and eye to the South African fashion is always a much welcomed opportunity. Now with that in mind, we turn to South African Menswear Week for the Spring-Summer 18 season, the only platform on the continent dedicated to men's fashion. And time for an insider's guide into South African style. Here to shed some insight, we have Expresso Fashion Editor Nick Strelitz in the house, and our fashion consultant Alexis, Chaffe, May. Hello, gorgeous people.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
You guys know I love men's fashion, right?
Do you?
Menswear is our thing. Anyways, Nick, my first question for you is, what can the brothers, our men out there, be looking forward to in terms of men's fashion?
The brothers can look forward to being pretty in pink.
So say what?
Pretty in pink, or the fellas rather, pretty in pink.
Pretty in pink.
We saw this all the runways in Paris last week in the haute couture shows.
Yeah.
Nailed that. And now it's translating to South Africa big time. I think guys are much more willing to experiment. We talk about that. In London, Paris, Milan, we saw short shorts, we saw crop tops. And people are really having a conversation on how to push the sort of gender narrative when it comes to men's fashion.
Yeah.
My favorite look, number 3 here, by Johannesburg-based designer Neo Sorati.
The shiny situation.
Metallics are in as well, which is great. And I think twofold tip for pulling off pink men is you want to gravitate towards boxed silhouettes with heavier weighted fabrications. Because pink generally has a connotation of being quite feminine. So if you box it out, add a bit of masculinity to it, it sort of evens out.
Okay, very, very nice. Now, talking about these trends, Alexis, which designers out there are actually interpreting these trends and, possibly just making it more accessible to the public?
Okay, well, I love a really strong collection with an absolute absence of colour. Not because I'm a monochrome nut, no. Those that know me, actually I am. I'm normally in black and white. But I just feel like the absence of colour actually makes the details pop all the more. So designer Terence Bray here, this collection is really innovative. It does push boundaries, a little bit daring, and yet it is still accessible, I think, to the fashion-forward man on the street, simply because of the way he's styled it and put it together. So he's used layering to create dimension. He's brought in lots of amazing, stitch detail. There's actually a motif of a face that's woven through the whole collection. He's got new silhouettes like the sleeveless jacket, which I think your guy in the street can really enjoy in spring.
Very cool. That's nice. Now, Nick, who are some of those designers out there that we need to be watching out for?
Oh, awkward. I want to put on the spot. So-so.
All right.
Oh, wow. That came really naturally. So sorry. Yeah, for me, he always gets it right. It's streetwear, but with a twist. And I'm coining a new expression on Expresso today.
What is it?
Here, it's the new streetwear. So it's taking classic streetwear silhouettes. You can see here in the photos the crop trouser, the crop cuff, the sort of boxed out jacket, and just infusing luxe fabrications, which sort of just makes it more chic, but still being very much wearable, very much casual. And if you want to be a fancy painter, like this man in the 4th year, you can be a fancy painter in 2017. He looks like a painter.
A fancy painter.
Well, it's like luxe painting, did that not?
Okay, I think I'm gonna say, oh, there goes a fancy painter.
It's upgraded street.
Okay, upgraded street. I like that. Partner, let me upgrade you. And then finally, Alexis, which designer simply inspired you? Maybe was the most creative out of all of them?
Well, there's one designer that I always look forward to seeing, and that's Tokyo James. He's a Nigerian designer that's based in London. And he really has a really strong tailoring aesthetic, so you can expect to see lots of beautiful suits on the runway, but he gives it a twist that just makes it intriguing. And this season's theme was the African cowboy. So he really deconstructed that Dallas stereotype with the Stetson hats, the leather suits, the staddle stitching on all the garments. And again, you know, he just takes, you know, maybe classic pieces and just gives them a little bit of innovation.
Oh, can you see why I love menswear week? Why I love men's fashion? It's so exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, just the pink might take a while to catch on.
Okay.
But anyways.
Small steps.
We can leave the guys in Europe to do it because I think that we are doing just fine on our own. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, Alexis. You guys are absolutely incredible. And that is your Menswear Fashion Week buzz.
Well, I can tell you, Leanne, that Peter was particularly excited about one of those items, and he might be trying it out in his wardrobe. Listen, a very, very cool thing that I just found out. Peter and Angie own a cooking school, and they're making it possible for you out there, if you're very passionate about the culinary arts, to get a bursary right from the school and learn how to cook.
Yep, and it's not a cooking school, it's a chef school.
Chef school.
Excuse
me! Chop it off! Chop it off! How dare you!
Yeah, so we've every year we give away a bursary, which is for the first year, which is a 12-month course, and they get an advanced certificate in food, patisserie, and wine appreciation. And basically, we pay for it ourselves, so we put the students through. Wow. And all they need to do is, onto our website, they need to motivate it by...
Yeah, you need a letter of motivation as to why you're so keen and passionate and want to become a chef.
200 words, not more than that, and then your idea of a 3-course menu.
Okay.
And then what will happen, we then choose 10 people. They then come to our kitchens. They have a cook-off out of a mystery basket, but nothing like very simple, not to trick anyone.
It's all about the passion at the end.
But we bring in external judges, so we're not the people who judge it, and they then decide who's the student who gets it, and they get a free year's education.
Sounds like a great opportunity.
Fully inclusive.
The details are on your screen right now, should you be interested. But we do have another caller for our culinary hotline playing. Ting, ting, ting. Hello. Colleen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kat. How are the zingers doing in the studio this morning?
Everyone is doing fantastic. There's a lot of ting-ting going on. What's your culinary conundrum, Colleen?
My question is, I'm looking for a sugar alternative when I make my vegan meringues.
Ooh, making vegan meringues, and we're trying to find a sugar alternative. Thank you for that very challenging question, Colleen, because I can already see the quizzical looks on our chefs' faces.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that. I'll let Angie
It's a tricky
answer.
business. Look, I'm not 100% au fait with the whole vegan meringue thing, but what I do know about meringues is that they need sugar. And to try and substitute something else isn't going to give you that same result. So your meringue, it's all about the crispness of a meringue. And without the sugar, it's not going to happen.
Have you made the meringue before?
Yes, I have. I've tried it with sugar, and it works perfectly. But I've tried it with agave granules, and it takes a lot longer to sort of crisp up, and it's probably an hour or even more. I normally bake, when I bake with the sugar, it bakes for 2 hours, and I turn off the oven and I leave it. But when I use the agave crystals, then I also find that my meringues are cream or sort of a beige colour at the end.
Okay.
You see, I think...
Look,
sorry, Angie.
all sugars have different melting points as well. So
but you really... The substituting agave for the sugar is not really...
No, the problem with agave is that it's not necessarily any better for you than having sucrose. So this is where I've got a bit of a controversy with the different types of sugars and the different types of sweeteners. You can substitute with fructose or agave or all of those xylitols, and that you don't get the same result, and they're not necessarily better for you. So in my estimation, rather use the sucrose, the sugar, your caster sugar, and just have a tiny little bit of it if you are diabetic,
have it in
for
moderation.
example.
But that's something we very strongly... Like, it's even bread. I mean, eat it when it's good bread. So don't eat like your sliced bread every day, but when you're going to treat yourself, do it properly and just eat it in moderation.
All right. Well, Colleen, thank you so much for the call and the culinary conundrum, and to everyone else who phoned in as well. Much appreciated. Peter, Angie, thank you so much. We'll do this again next week on the next episode of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Sing, sing, sing. Exciting things. Well, listen, join Afternoon Express resident chef Clem Pedro in the loft for some fitness motivation. Now, Clem will be making one of his favorite post-workout meals, a delicious health-packed chocolate pudding. You do not want to miss out on this. It is a nutritional dessert that sure will get you moving.
A health-packed chocolate pudding. Ooh, I don't know if I believe it.
Now I'm going to watch that show, right?
I don't know. It'll have to be seen to be believed. Well, stick around. More coming to you after the break. The battle rages on as Zoe and Ewan take to the road.
And then, of course, our presenters are making big savings, and we're making savings big right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be right back.
At Samsung, we believe in technology that touches lives. We believe that you are the inspiration and we're the innovation. You are the dreamer and we're the catcher. You are the main act and we are the stage. You're the shooting star and we're the constellation. We develop technology so you can live life. Samsung, a way of life.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome back back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, Africa's leading online travel agency, TravelStart, wants to make a difference in the lives of others, and you can be a part of it. The 27 Suitcases campaign is asking you to donate clothes, toiletries, non-perishable food, and children's toys from now up until the 18th of July.
Yep, that is, of course, Mandela Day, and on that day, these goods are going to be sent or packed into 27 suitcases and sent to 27 charities across the country. Really cool initiative. If you're in Cape Town, you can drop off your donations at the TravelStart head office and also score a free cup of coffee in the process. If you live anywhere else, all the details on how to make a donation are available on the TravelStart blog.
Well, from travelling to having fun, it is now that time of the week again.
Yeah, the Ford EcoSport Challenge is now more exciting than ever before, with Ewan forfeiting a mission last week and Zoe now miles ahead.
That's right. Well, in case you missed what went down last week, here's a quick recap.
You will make a turn in another direction and be challenged by a fitness session.
I was able to do a quick turn. It was so easy to maneuver.
This is a tight little circle. U-turn, check.
We used rebounds or mini trampolines. Bounce back gave you an all-round body workout.
There was a mix-up of high cardio, there was weights, there was stomach, there was basically working your whole body through. Burgers, it is. We are getting spoiled.
It's never straightforward.
You're gonna have to eat this as fast as you can. It would be an absolute sin to shove this down your throat. I agree.
We were racing against the boys, so we had no choice but to dig in.
I think Zoe is gonna be furious. Here's your next clue.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh, well, now that you know what went down, in fact, it's now time for the 5th installment of the EcoSport Challenge.
Yeah, and Ewan is lagging behind. Zoe is now miles ahead. What will Superman do? He'll have to give it all in the next few kilometers to reclaim the first prize.
Oh, well, we'll have to wait and see. Can he do it?
So far in the Ford EcoSport Challenge, Ewan and Zoe have had to show physical skill, emotional depth, and a sense of humor. Their next adventure tests their creative thinking.
There's 3 words that's in capital letters, okay? And the word art, it jumps out at me.
In fact, the first challenge was all about the art of driving.
Bam, driving into ADI driving school.
And what better way to do it than in the EcoSport?
Today we're doing an obstacle challenge. You'll start from the bottom and maneuver your way all the way through the cones here. And whichever presenter does it the fastest will win the challenge.
Do it forwards and backwards. You've got to beat Zoe's time to get the points, okay?
Take it away, let me see.
Will you show me a little demonstration?
No problem.
And I think that's what I needed to see exactly what was expected of me. So when it was my turn, I knew what to do. There were various cones set in place. Imtiaz drove through them, weaving through each cone to a certain point. I can beat Ewan at that. And I thought that was way too easy. Okay, maybe not. I also have to reverse all the way back to the start. He did it!
Challenge accepted. Immediately I got excited because, you know what, I'm a good driver. The reversing back, that's I think the mental challenge and aspect. So let's not try and hit any of these guys. All right, let me jump in and see.
My turn. Challenge accepted.
Both contenders will have to use abstract reasoning to maneuver the car. So, who will finish the obstacle course in the fastest time?
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we are doing this. I made my way through the cones very carefully. Woo, nearly hit the cone. Okay, cool, I've got this.
I've got this, hands down. It's going to be easy. When you're going in a forward motion, you're going around the poles, obviously keep wide at the front end, you know, get the back wheel as close to the pole as possible.
Now I have to reverse. Trust the nose of the car, follow it back. Don't steer away from the path you've just created for yourself. I see the cone, looking for the poles.
The Ford was surprisingly nimble. The dimensions of the car is great. You've got good visibility out of the windows, so getting around the obstacles was fairly easy.
I love that the EcoSport has the option to adjust your seat so that you can sit nice and high and you do have that vantage point to see things on the ground. Can I turn? Yes, I can. Do I miss the pole? Yes, I do miss it. I know that Ewan is a motorbike man, so for him to navigate his way through things is, I think, a skill he has acquired. But the question is, how well can you do it in an EcoSport?
I think she did well, but there's no way that she could go through that course any quicker than I did. Not a chance.
That was cool. How did I do?
You completed this challenge in 52 seconds.
Yes!
You didn't knock any cones. Congratulations.
52 seconds. Ewan beat that. 52 seconds. That was awesome.
How'd I go?
Time's 106.19.
That's a good time.
A good time indeed. But as Zoe completed the challenge 8 seconds faster, she gets 20 points, while Ewan receives just 10 for good driving.
Here's your next clue.
Thank you so much.
Take you on to the rest of the way.
Perfect, man. Thank you very much, Tony.
52 seconds.
Once you've found this piece of art,
Look in the boot so you can start.
to recreate what you see, then snap a pic.
And hashtag get busy.
Please tell me I'm not doing some art thing.
Guess I'll have to go look for a piece of art.
I'm so bad at art. I'd rather eat livers, eh?
Ewan's coordinates take him to the heart of the Jozi CBD, where Maboneng Precinct is alive with color and inspiration.
The beautiful Maboneng Precinct, Joburg City Centre, and it's just graffiti drawings everywhere. It's colourful, it's friendly, I love it. These graffiti artists, they've got a world of talent. It's just phenomenal what they can do with spray paint. But then it hit me. I'm really hoping that I'm not supposed to draw anything, and I got scared because I suck at art. Not artistic in the least.
Heart, part, start. And the only common denominator there is the word ART, art. And the only place I can think of that has the most amazing art pieces is in fact Element House. Once I arrived at my destination, I opened the boot and I saw a wooden board with 5 different colors of clay. It looked like an artist's palette, and I knew this is where I get to be creative.
So following my clue, get out the car, obviously, spot the piece of artwork. It says I must go open the boot. All right, spray paints and a canvas. I am gonna draw. Well, obviously I can't paint that, and this is ridiculous. I'll take whatever inspiration I can get from that and figure out my own piece of art, I guess. Let's get arty, shall we?
Zoe and Ewan's mission is to recreate an art piece. While Ewan has street art, Zoe enjoys the art collector's paradise of Element House and its amazing sculptures.
The minute you step outside, that's where you see all the sculptures. I saw one of the pieces from Walking the Road collection by Marika Prinsloo Rowe. It used to be on the promenade, but it was great to see it in the Element House garden. I was drawn to one of Lionel Smith's fragmented pieces. It was such an intriguing piece, seeing the lady's face, but also having, you know, it being hollow at the same time. I thought, I'm going to use my clay.
Let's try to channel Falco here. What would he have me do? I mean, I've got a piece of canvas this big, and I've got spray paint. There's no way that I'll be able to spray something that looks like a picture. It's just impossible. So I figured, let's go for lines and colors. So eventually it came together nicely, you know, got the nice strokes going, and then made the lines more solid.
I've used the blue, I've used the green as well as the white to mix it to get that beautiful texture. I created a lady of my own. No matter how hard I tried, she always seemed to have a little bit of a grumpy face.
I am a little bit intimidated when it comes to competing with Zoe on an art challenge. I think she's way more creative than I am. I don't think she would be able to sell her art piece for as much as I would. But yeah, I think she would put up quite a challenge.
The most challenging part about my Play-Doh moment was the fact that I had 0 tools with me. I'm not sure if this counts as cheating, but I'm doing a little improvisation by using my earring to add some finer details to my masterpiece.
Using an earring is a creative move, but unfortunately, it's not allowed for this task.
I essentially used my leftover Play-Doh, which was the red and the yellow, and wrapped my face mold around it, and that also helped with maintaining its structure.
Not quite as good as Falco's. Quite as good. It's good. It's good. I was very happy with the end result, to be honest. I mean, seriously, what do you expect with a canvas this size and spray paint, really? So I made it my own, just kind of a bit of a soft kind of mashup of colors. It turned out looking okay, which is good. Plus, I've seen way more weird art out there. So it's a very, very special piece of art. It's unique. I'm happy with it.
All in all, I had a lot of fun playing with Play-Doh. It's your baby.
So how did our artists fare? Ewan gets the full 30 points for the challenge, but Zoe is penalized 5 points for using her earring and walks away with 25 points.
I'm no longer a child, but it was great to have that playful moment. Get in touch with the inner child that we all still have within us. And driving the eco-sport is also a lot of fun, yet you're a grown-up.
Got into the car after my art challenge. Tomorrow's a time for exhilaration.
Where you'll test the eco-sports variation.
A challenge within a challenge and a list to tick off.
But first, think of someone fun
to help you start off.
Ooh, this is going to be a fun one. A challenge within a challenge, a list of things to tick off.
You're supposed to think of somebody fun to do it with.
And I think I have the right person for the job.
I think it should be interesting.
As Zoe and Ewan set off to ponder what they'll be doing next, the question is, who will be in the driver's seat on the scoreboard when they have to go into top gear to win?
Hashtag get busy in the Ford EcoSport.
Oh, they had so much fun in that EcoSport.
Special times, eh?
It's your baby! No! Now, something even more exciting. When it comes to our finances, unexpected costs, rising costs, and more costs are things we cannot always control. But this savings month, which we're currently in, we're determined to get financially fit and to save as much as we can and where we can. And when we're already paying so much for our bills, our debt, and our interest rates on our bills, and all the other things, the last thing we need is unnecessarily high banking fees.
Absolutely, and this is why we are loving Nedbank's pay-as-you-use account for R5 a month, and it's a fully transparent account with everything that you need. It keeps you in control of what you pay for and what you use, and all for just R5 a month. And of course, because we're determined to save this month, we've made it really easy for you to find out more and of course get signed up. So all you need to do is SMS NEDPAYU to 30755. So NEDPAYU to 30755, and you will receive all the information that you need. SMSs are free, and the terms and conditions that apply can be found on nedbank.co.za.
I'm a dreamer, a doer. I know the hustle. I just need my money to hustle for me.
Let your money hustle for you. Get a bank account for R5 per month and bank on the Nedbank app without using any data. See money differently. Nedbank.
Oh, well, listen, we're taking a quick... Oh, yes, it is. Well, listen, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, we're going to connect with you on social media, take for one last look what's trending today.
And then the cents are starting to add up. We're going to continue making our savings pledge after the break. So get your money out, get your jar out, and you can start working towards your own goal. I love it.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show as we end off this morning. And sadly, we need to just take a moment to break away from the excitement of this morning to bring you some breaking news right now. A story, in fact, that just broke very recently. South African jazz musician, the legendary Ntate Ray Phiri, has died following a battle with lung cancer.
That's right. Family spokesperson Paul Makanyane has confirmed that the star passed away in his Nelspruit home this morning. No news on when the funeral or the memorial service will take place as yet. However, tributes have already started pouring in for the Stimela hitmaker.
Yeah, indeed, may his soul rest in peace. And as we just quickly reflect on social media and what people are saying about Ntate Ray Phiri and how they are celebrating his
Exactly. Ulrich kicked it off by saying, so sad to learn that South African jazz legend Ray Phiri has passed away after battling lung cancer. Condolences to loved ones. We certainly agree with that. Mweli says, getting sad news that jazz musician Ray Phiri has passed on after battling with lung cancer. He was admitted at Nelspruit Hospital. And then Leanne Manis also saying, breaking news, Ray Phiri has passed away. He was admitted to a hospital with lung cancer, only 70 years old.
Yeah, and most recently he also performed at the PSL Awards, which I think was quite a treat for everyone who was there when he, you know, belting out songs like Pindam Zala. So he will surely be remembered. Rest in peace, indeed.
So after that tragic loss, and we again certainly add our condolences to his family and friends, let's round off the show with, I think, what is becoming part of probably the most addictive part of this show is watching our savings grow. We've all taken our savings pledge, what we can do without just one small gesture a day, in our case is a week, in your case. Yes. And we have been saving big. So how's your savings journey going? Your jar's looking pretty good there.
The jar's filling up. I'm adding some $70 today because, you know, I said I would cook more, at least stop eating out. So although I went for dinner last night, he paid so I can put that in the jar.
Well done, sir. Very chivalrous. Katz, I made you an extra cappuccino this morning to help you on your savings journey.
He actually did in the kitchen while I was doing the culinary hot rambling.
How's it going? Because yours,
it's going pretty well.
I can relate, dude. And for me to do without my cappuccino is a tough one, man. How's it going? How's your jar looking?
It's good. It's good. I'm going to be putting in $60 because this is 2 days worth.
Okay, very good.
And yeah, Zoe's saying, she's judging me. You're like, oh, it's so many coins.
I didn't judge. I was
What is wrong with a coin? What is wrong with coins?
Nothing wrong with coins. It's going to clink a lot. So many coins.
But it works because you know, for me, like when you use cash and then you get the change, sometimes it helps to just keep that little coin and then it builds up. So at the end of the day, everything works out together.
And don't just use it for parking. Save some. So I'm popping mine in here as well. I'm still on my same new little bag of wipes. But it is. I don't know, it's smaller increments, but that's the whole vibe here.
Yeah.
It is adding up. I don't know what my total is actually. But I'm over $100 here, bro, which is looking good, man. And we are only just into our savings challenge. So earlier I spoke to Vanessa and Vanessa. We were talking about short, medium, and long-term savings. Okay, and this is where it really comes to bear, the fact that those small increments can add up to something big. If I had to ask you what your long-term savings are, Zoe, what would you say it is?
For me, it's buying property. That's for me where I'm at now in terms of long-term saving.
I can see your focus is steely there. Kat?
Long-term is absolute, luxurious, comfortable retirement.
Yeah, dude. And Vanessa took me through her retirement fund, and you're going to need a lot, dude, if you want to retire comfortably.
That's why I'm starting now.
Yeah, you really want to get on it, Lee.
I think retirement is definitely one of those things, and also owning property. I think that's the one thing that's never gonna, you know, like diminish in value.
Yeah, completely.
So, yeah, property and just living comfortably for the rest of my life would be amazing.
I want to send my child to school, man. I want to send my child to school. Now, I really want him to have a good education. It meant so much to me, and schools are expensive. A good education comes at a cost, and it's something that I really want to invest in, so you can look after me when I'm retired.
Do you know what school you want to send him to? I mean, you've got like your old roots in Joburg.
Put your name on the list now already.
I've been visiting. I've been like hanging around Cape Town schools. Now, we've visited so many through our coverage of youth sports, and I've seen some amazing schools in the southern suburbs, especially. Not judging anyone else, but there are a couple that are standing out for me, and I want him to have a cultural experience and a great sporting experience, obviously. If he loves sport, hopefully, please love sport.
Can I register my kid before he's born? Because I feel like that's what you have to do.
You got to know people, girl. You got to know people.
Like, he ain't born yet. I don't know when he comes
for another day.
But just a quick reminder, if you want to get on your way to save, SMS NetPayU to 30755, and we'll be in touch to give you some cool information on a R5 account. It's truly transactional. So on that very good financial note, we say goodbye. We love you guys. Have an awesome day. Make us proud. Make us proud.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.